There were a couple of good games, but man, they kind of drag forever.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
Oh, guys, I've never streamed or rather like recorded lying on my back on a bed with you guys in my ears. It feels kind of dirty. I think people get paid for this shit.
They really should pay, yeah.
No, this actually, like, I never realized this. Like, if you lie down and have a mic in front of your head and you talk to other people, it feels like you're, I don't know, maybe I'm completely off the track here.
It's good though.
Oh, guys, what have you been up to? Kai just already told me he was streaming like modern, like
dude. Because you guys made me to, right? Because
you said you offered yourself. I was like, yeah, cool, sweet.
No, like usually. So here's a question. So if you have like if you get a meal and then you have like potatoes on it, and a super juicy steak, like would you rather eat the steak first and then the potatoes, or vice versa? Like, do you always eat the good stuff first and then leave the bad stuff for the end, or vice versa?
I have bad stuff first, but I do it in a mix. So I'll have a potato, then I'll have a bit of steak, then have a potato, then have a bit of steak, and then I'll end with the steak.
So you do like half
how
bad.
It's supposed to be used, but I also I usually eat like the side dish and then I move to the big stuff.
Really? Okay. I guess then we're on the same page, because that's why I picked modern for this time, so I can finally play some legacy in the team trials. And for the probably in the summer or whenever is the next time is for the
next season, right? I mean, but it's kind of weird. Like the one in March is actually supposed to be winter, and the one we attended in December was supposed to be autumn. Like there's somewhat of the it feels like we are switching to a different calendar.
Dude, it's Italy. Like who cares, dude? Whatever. It's literally whatever. But like I streamed some modern until like later this afternoon, and damn, I feel like every single game goes like to extra turns. I feel like there's like so like a lot of cards in modern kind of drag the game for another 5-10 minutes. And so on and so forth.
Why don't you play like Belcher or something?
Yeah, maybe I really should, because I picked up Murktide, which is kind of the go-to deck for legacy players. But I don't know, man. I think there are like so many cooler things to yeah, okay.
Aren't there like supposed to be like 2 top decks or something in modern? I only read the headlines about it, and then I try to pretend that I know something about the format.
I know that
Murktide and Hammer Time is the top ones.
I mean, Cascade is also pretty good. Like any Cascade deck. Yeah.
There is actually. There's I think Hammer and Murktide are kind of the top, and then there's a ton of decks which are like good as well. As like Yawgmoth is very good as well. There's a lot of viable decks, but
right. But the problem is that you're like most players, or like including myself, like I'm probably too stupid for more than half of those decks. Like I don't think I can properly pilot a Yawgmoth deck.
Well, I think you're too stupid, yes, but also you need the experience.
I think if I play that deck, I think all my undying creatures would actually just die.
Dude, that reminds me so much of when I played my first paper tournament with Scapeshift. Like, I want to say like 8 years ago or something. I went for Scapeshift, and maybe I told the story before. I resolved Scapeshift. And then I looked at my hand and was like, okay, let's just actually also fix my mana by resolving Scapeshift. And I got like 4 breeding pools and like all the blue and white lands and blue and green. And my opponent was sitting there, and he felt so embarrassed. And he just told me, those are not mountains. I'm like, oh my fucking god. Then I untapped and Scapeshifted again and won.
Nice.
I mean, Legacy player walks into a modern deck. To be fair, though, that was when Dig Through Time was legal, and that was the most broken modern deck I ever played. Scapeshift with Dig Through Time. Can you imagine?
Oh, was it? It sounds pretty powerful. Yeah, was it like kind of like a control deck with a combo finish, or?
Pretty much, right? You didn't even care. Like it's basically like Show and Tell in Legacy. Like if they counter your Scapeshift, that's perfect, because then your Show and Tell is probably gonna resolve. Your Dig Through Time is probably gonna resolve.
Oh, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I dig it. I literally dig it.
It's just the same as casting 2 Scapeshifts.
Yeah, but one of them is only 2 mana and instant
True.
speed.
Yes.
Like you go end of turn Dig Through Time into Scapeshift, and they gotta counter both, kinda.
Dude, and there's no Pyroblast in modern. Ooh.
Oh, by the way, guys, I'm not casting from a hotel room this time.
Yeah, you sound pretty crisp. What happened?
Do I? Oh, yeah. That's probably like my trade fair voice. Like for 2 weeks straight, I've been talking for 8 hours every single day, and then afterwards at trade fair parties and stuff. No, I'm staying at a friend's house in Düsseldorf, and so technically I'm not casting from a hotel room anymore.
Nice.
So hey,
congrats! Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, dude, we've been selling so much Kenya. It's insane. It's completely insane.
Can I buy 1% of Kenya?
You need to marry a Kenyan woman, I believe, or Kenya. Actually, I'm not even sure. Like, can you?
I mean, that's the easy part, right, Callum?
No, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, I know a lot of guys actually like who own safari lodges. They got married to a Kenyan girl. I have no idea. Maybe it's for love, but it probably was. But there's some ownership thingies about owning Kenyan property. I think it's in Tanzania. It's a lot stricter. But we can find a way. If we all chip in together, we can buy like one. Like, imagine if we bought the Everyday Eternal Safari Park.
I would take it.
No, seriously. It's amazing, dude. Also, at some point, you run into so many people, and you get the weirdest. Like, I get an email today from a potential guest, and I hope he's not listening to it. He sent me an email, and he's like, "Okay, so me and my dude are coming to your hotel." I'm like, what? That's the weirdest way to phrase it. But yeah, dude, you meet so many amazing people at these trade fairs.
Yeah, didn't you mention that one of those guys that was also a listener of the podcast?
Dude, shout outs to... As he was walking away, I wanted to stop him and ask him for his name again, and now I couldn't shout him out. Dude, I'm so sorry I didn't catch your name. Send it to me on every kind of, I don't know, communication device. He told me he was involved with like sailing. That's also why he was at the trade fair, because it was like basically the biggest tourism consumer trade fair in Germany, at least. And yeah, all my colleagues at the trade fair actually asked me, "Hey, send me your podcast. If people actually hit you up just because of your podcast, I want to listen to it." Like, okay, you're probably not gonna understand anything, but hey, we have this German-Japanese guy talking about Japan for the first couple of minutes, so check that out.
Oh, that's me. Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last episode. So yeah, I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna do one more trade show day tomorrow, and then I'm gonna go home on Sunday. And after another week, I'm gonna go to Hamburg. And I hope that's trade fair season thus far this year.
Is it like a month of just non-stop trade fairs?
It could be. Like, today I was talking to even more people, and they recommended so many different trade fairs. So next year we're going to do the same schedule, but we're also going to have Utrecht in the Netherlands, and we're going to have maybe Singapore, in Singapore. And there's Zurich in Switzerland, and you could literally fill 2.5 months like traveling salesman, Kenyan salesman or something.
This is going to be a really stupid question maybe, but like, who are the people that go to these things? Like, how much of the people there is people selling stuff and actual people just like... Because for me, the idea of like going to a trade fair and browsing holiday stuff is so alien. Like,
is it really?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, before I worked in the industry, I also probably wouldn't have never have done it. These trade fairs right now, these are all diving trade fairs.
Okay.
And I want to say the diving trade fairs are by far my favorite type of trade fairs ever, because divers, they come and they really want to go. And what you get at these diving trade fairs is you get to meet the people that you also get to meet at the location that you book. So I think there's something in that, you know, if you want to book a lonely island for like 2 or 3 weeks and you want to hang out there and dive all day, if you first get to meet the, let's say, instructor or the people who work there, that's something. And the other thing is you get some very serious discounts. And that does make a difference. But yeah, I wouldn't go to a trade fair for like the most random. Like,
it makes sense, yeah.
Toilet paper trade fair, hey.
Yeah, I guess if you're spending a ton of money on a few weeks thing or a bigger group and stuff, you do want to shop around and yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but also the other type of people is basically like couples, both like young, middle-aged, and old couples. They just come to their favorite tour operator and they're like, okay, this year we got, I don't know, 3 weeks, and this time of the year, recommend something. And then you get to talk to them for like an hour or something, and then they are happy. And we made this wise decision of adding a bar to our
great call.
Yeah,
maybe I'll come to these trade fairs as well, you know.
You should. The craziest thing is like all the drinks are free. I think I was handing out something like 30 or 40 Cuba Libre today.
You know, I've always said I love trade fairs. I've always wanted to go to them.
Oh, Callum, yeah, dude, you gotta show up next time. I'm gonna hook you up with some Kenya and some Cuba Libre, and then you're gonna have the best time.
I'm especially dying for it because I've not drunk for January. I'm doing the dry Jan thing, and we're almost there. God, I'm dying for a beer. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm an honorary diver. I had a single dive yet, but every time I go to a trade fairs, I'm like, fuck, dudes. What I'm seeing, I want to see all that stuff for myself. But yeah, who knows? One day, I do the open water dive or something.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, we pondered about a couple of topics we could talk about, right? I think a couple of episodes ago. No, that was an upcoming episode of another podcast that I can't spoil yet. I even said like, oh, we're not the kind of podcast to talk about like bands and unbands all the time. Yeah, well, that lasted for like a month or something.
But we're not talking about bands. That's the boring thing.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, that's a boring thing. I think like talking like unbands is kind of like the uplifting part.
Yeah. On bands, I think we're all in the kind of same ship. We're just like the format feels like a bit like garbage time at the moment. Everyone feels like something's going to happen, and just depends when.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of like an up and down. But I think like I gotta say like I do tend to enjoy like unbanned talks, even though I don't like to do those kind of talks like every single week. Like once per year is like probably like the right amount of unbanned talk maybe, because because like generally I don't think that Wizards of the Coast is really that interested in like unbanning specific cards into formats.
No, they're not. I mean, it shows. Like, we'll get to it, but I think Jorgmund's Bargain is terrible, and it won't be played in Legacy at all if it was unbanned. So they clearly don't.
Spoiler alert.
They clearly don't care. There's tons. I think there's a bunch of cards that could be unbanned, and like it'll be cool or interesting. And
Totally.
Yeah, and they can't talk about the secondary market, and so that doesn't exist to them, quote unquote. So.
Oh, by the way, and them not being able to speak about stuff, apparently they deleted a ton of videos and articles from the past, like so much, and that's not to be found on the website anymore.
Yeah, I saw that.
Interesting.
Like,
okay.
Just I don't know why. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's like a mistake from them or something, or it's...
I was wondering, because that's the most likely scenario, right? That they had like some database migration, what have you.
Yeah.
And I hope the stuff's gonna be back, because for some reason it's not even available on the Wayback Machine anymore, which is like that's basically archive of the internet. By a third party.
Very weird.
We'll see. But yeah, so the task that we put upon ourselves for tonight's episode was basically all of three of us had to pick 10 cards. Like, if we basically, the way it worked around was the task that we put upon ourselves for this night was if we had to pick 10 cards to unban in Legacy, which ones would we choose? And I think, Kai, you added that secondary, like, price basically wasn't a concern, right?
Right. So, because obviously, like, some of those cards are crazy expensive. Like Power 9, obviously, and like Library of Alexandria and blah, blah, blah. So, like, let's assume that all those cards are, I don't know, $5. Okay, let's just say for the sake of the discussion that all cards are basically price is not a concern. And you said 10 cards, and obviously I just rocked up with like 17 cards.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, did you say 10, right?
This is very ad hoc, but we could just go through the whole ban list, skipping over the conspiracies and the anti cards and stuff, and we could just give a quick thoughts on each one if you want.
Oh yeah, actually, you want to read it out?
Yeah. So shall we? I can read them out. I've got it in front of me. And shall we just make our way through it and give our thoughts?
That's so much better, dude. You should be scripting these episodes.
Sorry, Kai. You spent all day making your list.
God damn it!
You even made a nice graphic of all the card pictures together.
Yeah, I did.
This is like the kid who didn't do his homework actually responding to the teacher's question, giving them much better answer than you who prepared for it. Like,
well, I thought we were starting the podcast in just over half an hour from now in my head. So I was about to like get on the computer and make a list and like get some show notes together for you guys. And then I saw you message the podcast link. I was like, oh shit, quick, let's get there. So this is all on the fly. But yeah, shall we go through? We can do like quick fire, but I think there's some that's way more interesting, which we'll spend more on.
And also, like, before we dive in, like, there are those like super broken, way too broken cards that we're not even gonna touch on. I think, like, I mean, we don't need to waste any time of like discussing Black Lotus, for example, right?
Well,
we gotta what?
Honestly, I think actually we'll get to that, but I think there's cards that are better.
I think what's most interesting for like listeners is like those like borderline playables or like even like just pretty bad cards that just didn't age very well.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can just like quickly skip over.
Yeah, like. For the perfect example, alphabetically it starts with Ancestral Recall, which we can just skip. Like, I'll say the names, but obviously Ancestral Recall cannot be unbanned.
We had Treasure Cruise, and it was one of the most broken things ever. So next one.
Yeah, cool. All right, Arkham's Astrolabe. Thoughts, Julian?
Okay, my favorite card of all times, right?
Yeah.
I have this philosophy where I feel like if I had to unban cards, I'd rather unban the cards that are broken than the ones that make for horrible gameplay. And I think as Outcomes Astrolabe makes for some of the most horrible gameplay, and while not being very broken at all. So I'd rather leave that one banned and allow people to have all the not all, but rather have the broken stuff legal that can be fought with sidebars, and not have the toxic lord of snow back in the metagame.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% with Julian.
Cool. I
Copy
can
that.
agree with that as well. As much as I'd love it for Painter, it would be so insane again. But no, this card, I agree. It just doesn't add anything nice to the format. There's some people that like it, but I think the majority of people don't.
Also, on top of that, like, I don't want to go back to playing Snowbait 6 everywhere.
No.
Oh, yeah.
True. All right, balance. Kai, go.
Balance. Oh man, balance is hard. I didn't put balance on my list of things that I want to see unbanned. I think balance is a little bit too ridiculous in certain decks, I think. Generally, like, it ignores enchantments and planeswalkers. So what it does, like, it balances out all creatures, lands, and hand count. No, wait. Creatures, lands, and hand count to the minimum. But you gotta keep all your artifacts, you can keep all your enchantments and all your planeswalkers. I could see this kind of getting out of control in, like, some super fast Mox Opal type of decks maybe, or like super crazy planeswalker type of decks, like Minsk and Boo and then follow up with balance, like that kind of deal. It kind of broken.
Yeah, Julian.
Well, the thing is, I think we all agree that the most broken part is the hand discard thing, right? You put everything into play, you cast it on the first turn somehow with like Mox Opal, what have you, and your opponent gets to start the game with a single card that they draw for the turn. I think that's just like way too broken.
Yeah, imagine this in an 8-cast shell, but you'd probably build around it even more.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't for the discard aspect, like killing all creatures for 2 mana is still like super good, but it wouldn't even be remotely too as broken as it is with the discard part.
No, like I think this guy's way too broken because of exactly what you say. Like, yeah, you could play it in a control deck and yeah, you make them sacrifice 3 creatures or whatever, but yeah, it would be completely abused and it'd just be like a 2-mana Mind Twist most of the time.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Bazaar of Baghdad, we can just skip over.
Actually, no, keep going.
I think Bazaar is like above even like Moxen. It's so broken.
Yeah.
Black Lotus, I think we can skip over this one as well.
I was wondering, what do you do for Black Lotus?
What is that? Dude, is that a serious question? Dude, holy shit! Dude, you can cast a Minsk and Boo on every time on turn 1. How is
Minsk and
that?
Boo is the thing you think of? God, you have no aspirations.
Dude,
to be a combo player.
tell me any other card that's 4 mana that's more powerful than Minsk and Boo.
Well,
on turn
Doomsday
1.
plus Cantrip.
That's pretty good, actually. I like that a lot.
Oh
man.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Doomsday
Cool.
fans.
All right, next one's more interesting. Channel. What do you think, Julian?
Well, I was thinking about Channel because I was making my list. As I was walking home from the trade fair, and then I realized, oh no, there's this stupid thing in Cube where people just like play Channel Emrakul or Channel any of the Eldrazi's. I think you would probably put together something like Channel plus maybe Burning Wish. I don't know, like it's probably like a better Belcher deck. Oh yeah, actually, it would work really well in Belcher, right?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, all it does is like it's like super dark ritual, basically. It
Yeah,
gets kind of
it's 2 mana, gain all the colorless mana that you want.
exactly. I think it's highly dangerous. Like obviously, like sometimes it just acts like a mini show and tell of some sort. And double green is definitely quite the cost. You can't just cheat it out via Ancient Tomb or any of those lands.
This is where Wild Cantor comes in.
Or Manamorphose, really.
Elf Spirit Guide.
Yeah, we're getting there.
But I think it's a little too dangerous. People might find a way to really abuse that card,
People
especially
might
as a
find a
throw-off.
way.
Wow.
Yes. Somewhere in a faraway country, somebody's going to be smart enough to break Channel. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think this is the ones that you wouldn't unban because it is too dangerous. But I think it's one of the ones where people think it's way more broken than it is. I think even resolving a 2-mana sorcery that has such a restrictive cost as green, if you're trying to be a combo deck, and then like if you're playing against Delver and they just have a couple of bolts and then like get some Delvers out, you are not guaranteed to win. It depends what you're trying to cast. I think Belch is a good example of something that would try and use it, but it's hard to think of like what it would do now because archetypes would be built around it. But I don't know. My instinct is it wouldn't be as good as people think, but it's still such a ridiculous card that it probably is just not worth it at all. Yeah. Cool. Chaos Orb. We can't have that one. Next is interesting. Deathrite Shaman. So this is one that we kind of had maybe on the list. Probably. Well,
it was my 11th card of the 10 picks.
Yeah. Okay. I'll start with this one. I miss Deathrite Shaman a lot. I had a ton of fun playing it when it was legal. Like Shardless was my deck I've probably played most in Legacy. It's just too good. It does too many things. What I do miss though is I think it had a almost healthy effect on the way people used graveyards. It's not like a scavenging use effect where it's multiple activations a turn, but it would like help keep stuff like Uro or any other kind of like Mystic Sanctuary, stuff like that in check. So I think that aspect of it is quite interesting, but it's just got too many stats in too many places. It does too many things. So it's too good, and it definitely homogenizes the format too much, but I would love them to like try and make a remake of it, and it's a 0/1 and doesn't do and like you gain 1 life and they lose 1 life or something like that. What do you guys think?
Did people talk about fire design and like power creep back in the day when Return to Ravnica came out? Because I don't think
I don't remember. No.
Right? Maybe they just didn't use that word. Maybe
in a way, we've always been talking about power creep in every format since the beginning. I think like even when you just look at something like Werebear being upgraded to Tarmogoyf and stuff.
Imagine like when Werebear came out, dude, that's a freaking power creep, man. That's like such such an upgrade to I don't know, Grizzly Bear. Holy shit, someone's gonna nerf that card immediately.
No, but I think that the term and the concept has been around forever. I think people have been talking about that, and every time basically some of your favorite cards get crapped out of the format. I very much remember we talked about that with Tarmogoyf, but yeah, I mean. There's been a certain increase in power creep over the last even 10 years. Like, I don't know, man. I still go back. I still have like PTSD from when Everson Returned came out. I'm still not fully over it.
That Terminus and Grizzlebrand card, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know me well.
Cool. Are you guys on the not safe?
Yeah. I think like Deathrite Shaman is exactly on the like super fun to play, but a little bit too ridiculous type of card.
Yeah, the thing is, I really loved like machine gunning people with Curtain Ranger and Deathrite Shaman, and
dude, that was your jam, wasn't it? Yeah,
it never felt the same, and I won so many games with the most ridiculous Curtain Ranger viable symbiote lines, and the most beautiful part of it is if you really had to push yourself across the finish line, you would basically give up your entire board. Like over the course of like 2 turns, you would bounce like all your lands back to hand, all your other creatures back to hand. You would literally sometimes end the game with Deathrite Shaman, Violent Symbiote in play, and nothing else, and you would barely get there, and it was so beautiful.
I remember seeing some crazy board states where like there's a Deathrite Shaman 2, and then like a bunch of Korean Rangers and symbiotes, and you're playing as Ant, and they're literally just dead on board. There's no way they can like have a Pass in Flames kill through the interaction, and they can't ad nauseum because you'll deal like 10 life loss, and then if you untap they're dead as well. So it was just like a kind of just can't play around anything thing.
The thing I was always like trying to achieve was I want to have a Deathrite Shaman active and a Quirion Ranger in play, and I want them to be at 12 because I could like drain them twice, which basically put them at 8, which made it rather hard to ad nauseum, and also like being able to hit the graveyard twice made Pass in Flames a little bit harder. So I'd love that position.
Yeah. Twice was the magic number. Yeah. Cool. Next few are pretty easy. Demonic Consultation is completely broken.
Actually, okay. Like
is it though?
I think it's completely broken.
Dude, the thing is, like, Thassa's Oracle exists, and I think that actually pushes it over the line of definitely not unbanning it.
Right, so...
Go on, make your case, Kai.
So you win the game if you resolve a 2-mana Merfolk and a 1-mana instant, but guess what? You can also cast a 2-mana Cephalid Illusionist and a 1-mana Shuko, and that's the same deal.
Yeah, and that doesn't get stopped by so many more things, right?
But
I don't know.
Consultation, you can just, like, if you don't have the combo yet, you can use it to find other pieces or discard or counter magic.
Isn't it also instant?
It's an instant, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess, like, at least it kind of makes some dex restrictions because you have to play multiple oracles, maybe, because you gotta exile a bunch of cards.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah.
I just want to play with my card.
If this card was legal, you'd play 4 oracle.
Oh, of course I would. Yeah.
So you poor thing, like, yeah. But
It's like-
look,
it's
it's
like
a
the-
1 mana instant speed demonic tutor. What are you talking about?
Dude, it is the one card in that list that I secretly sneaked in so that, we can like kind of say, yeah, I guess that's just
I
one
was
of
actually-
one of those 17 cards, it's gonna be alright.
Like, I remember I was walking to the bus, and as I was entering the bus, I was like, actually, and then I remembered Oracle. I think without Oracle, it would
No
still
way.
be super crazy. Like,
Absolutely
super,
no
super
way.
crazy.
No, this card is so broken. Like, look,
Yeah, it is,
there'll
I
be the 0.001% games where you like, lol, you exile the top 6 cards and they have all the copies of that card and you lose the game.
Yeah, dude, I always keep forgetting that you don't lose life, right?
No,
You don't.
It's,
Yeah,
it's,
it's
it's a
literally
black
demonic
mana.
tutor.
It's an
Yeah,
instant,
yeah.
and you just demonic
Yeah.
tutor.
I have no idea what I was thinking, even.
I mean, it's a slightly better Spoils of the Vault. That's what it is.
Oh, very slightly. Dude, I've killed myself.
Kai,
with spoils so many
stop
times.
trying to get this card unbanned. This card is better than demonic tutor.
Fine, it's
Yeah.
super broken. Okay, yeah, please don't fix it.
I can't believe
Okay.
it's instant speed.
Speaking of demonic tutor, I think this is worse than demonic consultation, but it's still pretty broken, right?
I mean,
This is where I'm just like, you know what? I don't think it's as broken as people think.
I side it out in Vintage, like, sometimes. I usually side out Vampiric more, but Demonic I sometimes side out.
I feel
Not
like
that that's really the benchmark, I guess, but yeah.
I feel like that must be wrong because like since Tinker and Citadel is a thing, I think you just don't side out.
No, I used to play that in basically, like, bug mid-range style decks. And,
Okay, fine, yeah.
I mean, still, Vampiric would go before I would even touch Demonic. It's not
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
would
yeah.
side out Demonic, like, all the time. But it would, like, what would do in Legacy? I mean, the obvious idea is, like, combo decks, right? Ad nauseam tenders.
Yeah, like just I don't think I don't know if it's even
Or the Epic Storm or something.
Yeah. I know it's arguably like the
Like, would it
same
be
as
like-
Burning Wish. I don't know. The fact that you can just cast it with Dire Ritual Mana is pretty great.
I mean, the thing that people get the most of the Demonic Tutor is usually lands. At least in my experience.
Absolutely. I think I've DT'd for Strict Mine playing Vintage more than any other card I've DT'd for. Or just like a Polluted Delta or Strict Mine are definitely the most DT'd for cards. And just Recall as well, maybe.
No, I'm really just like wondering what like random mid-range decks just play it. I mean, I guess also
I
makes the
don't
sidebar
think
cards
so.
much better.
I don't think,
but-
dude. I don't think so. 2 mana is such a big cost,
Yeah.
man.
I don't
Yeah.
think you'd play it in fair decks. Maybe like a 1 or 2 of. It's pretty nice when you're playing like a fair mid-range or control deck, and then you get to double or triple up on lots of your sideboard cards. Yeah, but I don't see it as
Like-
being more than a 2 of in any fair deck ever.
Like, imagine, like, is there like any card in the deck that you would like to draw more than more than as a 4 off, right? Because that's when Demonic Tutor kind of jumps in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's one way, but the other way is like if you have really strong silver bullets against a wide variety of decks, which usually you don't really need, I guess. I guess, what about stuff like Breakfast? Like if you have Wile,
Dude, I mean, we literally got Demonic Tutor at home. Demonic Tutor at home.
It's step through.
It's gonna say step through. In
Can't be counted, you want tutor.
Can't be counted instant
oh,
speed.
can
Pitches
we
the
pitch the
force.
force of, oh my god,
Dude,
Yeah.
so much
Demonic
better.
Tutor, absolute
Yeah.
underpowered.
Dude,
yeah.
if you had walked up to somebody a while ago and told them step through was better than Demonic Tutor, they would have
Oh my
given you a look.
You know what? So this conversation, I'm coming around to Demonic Tutor like being okay, maybe.
Dude, imagine if Wizards actually unbanned it next time.
I don't know. Like we did Legacy Unchained tournament for like just before Christmas in London, and I was building a Grixis like control mid range deck, and lots of people were playing fair decks, and I played one Demonic Tutor, and I hated it, and no one else was playing it. Everyone was just like, it's just way too clunky. So it was a very powerful format as well. But yeah, okay, interesting. This is an interesting point to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, there are also like cards like Opposition Agent these days, you know. So it's like, you know, tutoring up something is not entirely free. Like, you know, defeat artisan builds of elves
Yeah.
also have, you know, quite a
You know-
lot of like resistant.
You know who would love Demonic Tutor unban the most?
Uh,
Marcus, so he can play Spell Snare.
dude, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Cool.
It
Makes
doesn't feel all that good even to like Spell Snare Tutor, I guess. I mean, you still trade up on mana, but
Dude,
He'll
I would
be happy
spell,
with
I would spell snare tutor like every.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
of course
All
you
day.
do, but of course you do, but I want to Spell Snare the extra card. Like then they untap and kill me. I know this is not how competitive Magic works.
They also just get tendrils and you die.
yeah.
All right. Interesting. Let us know your thoughts on that, because that's actually one that I didn't expect to be kind of actually interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
sorry.
I was gonna. Yeah. Like before we go through time, like maybe in addition to demonic theory, we can also like add imperial seal, because that's.
Oh, that's coming up.
I mean, that's probably a super short answer, right?
Okay, actually, let's go to that one first.
I mean, I would just say they can
Seal
do
sucks.
it, and some people might play it. That's a slight upgrade to like personal tutor maybe in Doomsday, but it is not that good. I want to say.
I think I actually had Imperial Seal on my list of if I had to unban 10 cards, like gun to my head, I would probably unban Imperial Seal.
I think Imperial Seal would be pretty bad. So yeah,
I think it sucks, right?
yeah. That was one of the ones to be like, you know what? I think Mystical Tutor is better than it. Just the instant speed and being blue is better. And that one I'm not so sure on, because it's kind of annoying with Terminus, and you know Doomsday would totally play it as well. But
Okay,
yeah.
you know what? You want to hear my answer? Like, I think if you keep a hand with Imperial Seal, you might want to like as well take a mulligan. I think.
Yeah, I mean it depends.
Right?
Like, if you're an all-in balls-to-wall combo deck, maybe. But even then, it feels so bad to like basically tell your opponent what you're about to do and then wait
Exactly.
a turn.
I'd much rather take a mulligan. Yeah.
There's just so much interaction in the format now. Like every single deck can just
Imagine if you get predicted.
yeah.
It's like, sweet, sign me up.
But like every deck is playing just a ton of things. Like, you know, any white deck can just play Deafening Silences and whatever if you're this fast combo deck, or Mindbreak Traps are kind of pretty popular, even though combo is not very popular right now. It's not that good. You know, we've got Delver
So
and
what
Initiative
actually
up, but-
goes? Where does Imperial Seal even fit in? If like we certainly don't play it in a like mid-range deck, whatever.
No, definitely not. I think people would play it in like Doomsday, Storm decks and stuff like that, and then I think people would quite quickly realize it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, this card doesn't even pitch to force, so I don't even know if people will play Imperial Seal. Like, the only good thing about Imperial Seal is that it gets both Doomsday and Dark Ritual. You know, let's say if you already have the Doomsday, then you can also get a Ritual, because there are no sorcery rituals. That's the only upside, but the downside is that you have those stinky tutors that cannot be pitched to force a will. You can pitch to Grief, I suppose, but man, it kind of is like
like if you
bit
feel
of taste in my
like
mouth.
every time you cast Personal Tutor, you have to throw up a bit. This will at least get the sick in your mouth.
I've been like constantly throwing up for the last year, dude.
It also feels like very much like training wheels when you cast these like top deck tutors. It's like, oh, okay. Especially when they're, like,
the top deck
sorcery speed.
tutors, I just like. I sometimes play Enlightened Tutor in Painter stuff, and I think that has more power. Like Enlightened Tutor has more powerful like anti-combo cards rather than combo finding their pieces.
I guess the top deck tutors are somewhat better if you have like Senses Dividing Top, right?
Yeah. Or Smuggler's Copter. That's good.
What?
Same thing. Senses Dividing Top at home.
Basically the same thing. Right?
Hey, you laugh, but that was the whole idea behind it in Painter. Like
Wait, that was the whole idea.
when Top was banned, you wanted like things to draw cards immediately, so you played Smuggler's Copter.
Yeah.
And it turned out it was just
Somebody
a Delver.
insert the thing about like look at to what extent they have go to mimic our fraction of our power or something.
yeah. Oh, that's good. Cool.
Okay, what's the next one?
Dig Through Time. Skip over.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck
please.
it, dude. Literally the only card in my, I think by now it's a 16-year legacy career. Literally the only card that made me take a break from Magic is Dig Through Time.
Oh, really?
I loved playing the Dig Through Time format. I think I was pretty bad at Legacy at the time, and I was just playing local
I
game
bet.
store stuff, and I was playing Jund with Slaughter games and beating Omnitel and stuff. But I also played that Grixis Control that one with Pyromancer's
That was so
Ascension.
sweet. That was so sweet.
Oh,
you can
and
Power
you-
Monster and Cabal Therapies.
Yeah, so it's like Probe, Pyromancer Therapy, but then like against Miracles, you just have Pyromancer Ascensions, and then you'd be double casting Dig Through Times, and oh my god,
Oh, man.
it was so sick.
It
But
was
no,
incredible.
This card is broken.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, I had the peak of my Magic performance during the Dig Through Time era, but not because I played Dig Through Time, but I played Ad Nauseam Tendrils, which was really good against Dig Through Time decks. Like, I made that GP top 8, and also, like, 2 months later at GP, a little 17th place, which is kind of like the peak performance 2015 for myself as a
You
legacy
were really
player.
good back then.
Yeah, I was,
remember
dude. It was
What's
kind
happened?
of, I was kind of ridiculous, man. And then like Dig Through Time got banned, and then at the next GP at Seattle, I immediately like 2-3 day one.
that. But you had that
Right.
ridiculous haircut, right?
I always have
Lucas
ridiculous
talking, but
haircuts.
sure.
I am ridiculous, yes. But like, so I didn't enjoy Dig Through Time as a card as much, except those Grixis Control decks, because I thought they were really, really, really cool. But what Ad Nauseam Tendrils did back in the day was that it killed before opponents cast the dig through times. So like as like so you go off while they're like still like thought scouring themselves and casting attacks and probes and ponders and whatnot. And also Pyro Blast was the third most played counter, I think, after Flusterstorm and Forcible. There were not many copies of Daze around, I think, at the time, because Daze was just like, why would you want to like pick up a land if you can cast more spells to fuel your graveyard? That type of deal. There was also like almost no wasteland in the format, because why would you want to like wasteland someone? That just gives them more cards in the graveyard, blah blah blah. So I say a big yes to the dig through time era, but the card is just a little too broken.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Tiny bit, yeah.
All right, next one, Dreadhorde Arcanist.
No.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny because Wizards said that the win percentage wasn't actually that high, but it just felt so dreadful, I guess, playing against Dreadhorde Arcanist. Like if they were on the play and they played a turn to Dreadhorde Arcanist and you couldn't handle it. I mean, that's how it goes with a lot of cards, right? But that one snowballed out of control so fucking quickly. It just made Magic so miserable, and I'm so happy it's gone.
Same. This is one of my least favorite cards I've played against in Legacy.
It wasn't even all that interesting as a card. You would just like randomly get your cantrips and stuff.
I think when you got to a point in the game where you're like, it was right to force a bolt on your 2-drop, get out of here.
Nah.
I hate this card.
Next.
Good. All right, next is the first one, which I think we can unban, and it doesn't completely suck, but it's kind of bad and it's interesting. Earthcraft. As our resident green player, Julian. What do you think, Julian?
Yeah, so Earthcraft is basically the meme of the, or has been the meme of the Banlist ever since land tax was unbanned, I want to say. And I guess for those who don't know, I guess the idea why it's banned is Squirrel Nest, right? It's a 3-mana enchantment that combos with a 2-mana enchantment on a land.
It's so funny. It's so bad.
It's probably one of the worst combo decks ever to be on a Legacy ban list. I think that's really the only reason, right? Like, it's not because you can untap your Cradle if you put it on land, and then what can you do? I don't know.
No.
It's really only because it combos with Squirrel Nest, which, when you think back, it's so fucking memey. Like, is this where we are? Is this our life? Come on, guys.
No. Do you think there'd be another combo deck with it?
Can you think of any?
I mean, is there an Elves shell that does it?
Like, I guess is there some Wirewood Symbiote, Wirewood Hivemaster thingy?
I don't know if there's an Infinite combo. There is, there's that new, I think, 4-drop that makes all your lands basics, so you could like untap Cradle with that. I don't know.
Okay.
No, it's
no. Is there a land that taps to produce a token? Because then you could like, no, it needs to be an Elf token to trigger Hivemaster. Like, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Like Hivemaster, if an Elf comes to play, you get an Insect token.
Yeah.
And then you untap. Oh, no.
All right, Earthcraft sucks.
Yeah.
It
really. Yeah, like the only land I can think of is like, I think there's like a land for Commander that taps and then you get a goat or something. Okay, anyway, yeah, it's super
but
bad.
it's untap a basic land, right? Isn't it? Let me.
I thought like. You might be right. Why were people trying to?
It's tap an untap creature you control, untap target basic land.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, Earthcraft, terrible, cool. All right, Falling Star is anti. Fast Bond, no, thank you.
Yeah, Fast Bond too dangerous.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny, right? You could make that Crab Shop deck from Vintage and Legacy.
You know what? This Legacy Unchained we played just before Christmas. Simone, a friend from London, he went 3-0 with it. It's a pretty funny shell. Like, he said, the moment you get bolted, it couldn't win because it was using Fast One's Pay All the Life and stuff. And he didn't have Glacial Chasm, which you should. But he had a ton of turn 1 wins with just like.
You want to very quickly explain what the combo actually is, because I think a lot of people might not know.
Yeah, so you're going to combo with any of the Hedron Crab or Ruined Crab, I think it's called. So you play your Tropical Island, say, and you play your Fast Bond, and then you play another land, and you play a Crab, and then you can play any of the Ravnica, Karoo bounce lands, and then you can just keep bouncing itself. And so for each 1 life you can pay, you can mill them. It's kind of a thing in Vintage where it's called Crab Shack, and you win slightly differently. So you play Glacial Chasm as well, so you can like crop rot for it or just play that, and that prevents all damage that we dealt to you. So you don't lose it. Fastbond is damage for some reason, so you don't take the life loss from Fastbond to play more lands. And then you can either play Crabs and you keep replaying the lands and you mill them out, or there is a 3-mana black enchantment called Retreat to Hagra, which is whenever a land ETBs, your opponent loses a life and you gain a life.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
So-
dude, that's the combo, man.
Yeah. So you can win by milling them out, or you can win with retreat to aggro.
Yeah, just drain them.
Yeah. So
Would we see it like in some random life from the gnome land shell?
I think you'd see it
guess.
in like Turbo Lands style decks, but I think the Crab Shack would actually be legit, really, really stupidly strong as well.
It probably would.
Yeah. So I think Fast Bond,
Yeah.
it's just way too powerful. It's not like completely ridiculously broken like a LOL Ancestor Recall Black Laser thing, but it's too good. Yeah.
Dude, but I gotta say, like, every time I draft like Vintage Cube, I tend to go for those like Wheel of Fortune plus Fast Bond style of decks. Dude.
I pick on
Those are
Fast One so much.
Those are so addictive. Holy
Yeah.
moly.
I am a big fan of the lands matter things as well. So whenever I see like stage depths in Cube, I'll go for it. And, like,
yeah.
Fast Bond, I take really highly. It's
Oh yeah, I dig it.
yeah, cool. All right, next one's kind of interesting. So next one's Flash. It was banned because if you can flash in a Protein Hulk and then you go and get lots of combos. But back then there wasn't like surgical extraction. I think you won with like body doubler and all
Well,
this kind of
there
stuff.
were so many. Like I think the final thing that people arrived at was actually let's start from the beginning. The first
Yeah.
one that I saw was people were trying to get like virulent slivers, 4 of them or something, and then the sliver that gave all your slivers haste, and then you had another sliver like the winged sliver or something.
Oh my god!
And then you attacked for poison, and that
God.
like made up half of your deck.
What if they
It
bolt?
is so
What if they
janky.
just bolt your haste sliver?
Yeah, I mean, you tried to win on the upkeep. Actually, you couldn't even win on the upkeep. Yeah, so
No.
we got
Okay, the
smarter. We
combat
got very
stuff.
smarter. So in the end, we got Body Double, Karmic Guide, and
Kiki?
Kiki. Nah, I don't know if it was Kiki. I think it was like Mock Fanatic involved, and the
Yeah.
one that lets you sacrifice a creature. You guys remember that?
Viscera
zombie-
Seer or
Yeah, no,
Phyrexian
no.
Ghoul?
No, we didn't have those back then. We didn't have a series. Yeah, dude, super easy. The thing that's in every zombie deck: sacrifice a creature, gets a +1/+1 counter, and it can't block. I can't remember.
Oh,
I
a
can't-
Carrion Feeder.
Carrion Feeder,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And then it's way too
Right.
complicated to go into the combo, but it was like the most compact combo people came up with. And yeah, it
But
completely
you use the
dominated-
graveyard, which is my point. Like neutrals exist now. I wonder what people would get with this now.
Yeah, dude, I actually, and you might think I'm crazy, I actually had Flash on my list of things that I thought if I had to unban 10 cards, I would unban Flash just because how fragile it would be. Even though it's super ridiculous that it can win on your, like, even if you go first, Flash can win on your upkeep. And maybe, you know, that's, yeah, it probably is one of the most controversial picks I have, just because it can play all the pacts. It can even play the green pact and to very great success because it can either find the Hulk or can find, you know, Simmons Spirit Guide.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically oops all spells, but kind of faster. But then again, if the Hulk comes into play and gets Swords to Plowshare, that sucks. Actually, no, wait. No.
It sacrifices straight away, right?
Oh, dude, can you read out the text again on Flash? I'm trying to remember.
Let me Google it, but I think essentially, like, you put the creature in play, and then if you can't pay its mana cost, it just sacrifices straight away.
I'm pretty sure.
Let me search it. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. If you do, sacrifice it unless you pay its mana cost reduced.
So you
by
can't Swords to
2.
Plowshare it. Yeah.
No. So yeah, I think it's too broken.
You actually think it's too broken?
I think so, a bit too much. It's just like it's so easy to play and protect. I think the Green Pact is a great example as well. I think it's just way too fast and like 2 mana, an instant is like such a world of difference to like the 3 mana for Show and Tell and Sorcery. Like being an instant is incredibly broken for it as well. Yeah, I think you could build really resilient things to do this. Like Breach taught us how strong 2 mana combos rather than 3 mana combos is really, because the extra mana, it's a turn faster because you can pay for days and you can just Orum's chant them as well. Like imagine like end of your turn Orum's chant you.
in my
Or in your
defense,
upkeep,
we were
like-
giving out free Cuba Libre, which is like rum and coke at the trade fair at our booth.
Yeah, this is why you think it was okay. Okay, sweet. It depends. I haven't even thought of what the combo would be, but I can't imagine it would use the graveyard. If it did use the graveyard, then maybe there's a little bit of an argument. But I think you just play Silence or Orum's chant with it as well.
So, if you, I mean, the only other way not to use the graveyard would be something like that has a sick comes to play effect. Like, what's the sickest comes to play effect you can get here?
I'm just looking up the Protein Hulk cost text again. So it's when it dies, search the library for any number of creature cards with total mana value 6 or less, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So what you can do is you can get Carrion Feeder, Disciple of the Vault, and then loads of 0 mana artifact creatures.
Oh, I think people did. Actually, that's not even exciting.
Yeah, I mean, can't you get like a lot of like those like expel artifacts that just die when they hit the battlefield?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And then just like
but
four
guys,
Disciple of the Vault.
Walking Ballista and things.
Imagine how many stupid cards you're putting in the deck as opposed to like the Carrion Feeder.
Yeah, there's
combo
probably a way
Karmic
more
card.
compact combo.
Yeah.
That doesn't die to like any removal or use the graveyard and
Like
stuff.
we're de-evolving right
Like,
now.
I
We're
think
gonna
like
start playing Miriam Sliver
I think
again.
we're like purposely like coming up with the most janky way to build like a flash
seriously,
deck. It's like
seriously,
you know, like be like, yeah, I guess that it's okay, you know, if the deck's like bad like this, you know.
But you get to play good
Seriously,
cards
is
like
there no
Disciple of the
crazy
Vault.
comes to play effect? Like what about that Phyrexian Portal? Oh no, we can't get Phyrexian Portal. Or Portal to Phyrexia or whatever. Possessed Portal, I don't know.
Well, first of all, that's not a creature. Secondly, it's too much mana.
And third of all,
Julian,
it's not even all
hello.
that great. Like, yeah. No, but seriously, like, does Legacy not have any insane comes to play ability on a creature?
Tell you
Like Primeval Titan?
Let us know on Twitter or in the Discord if you come up with like a really compact combo.
Oh, what
mean-
about can you get Thassa's Oracle and Leveler maybe?
No, it's 1 mana too much. That was my
shit.
combo when I played Defense of the Heart.
Oh man,
I've got a really
so
cool Defense
close.
of the Heart brew, which I've gone like 3-2 in a couple of leagues once or twice. But yeah, you Defense of the Heart for Leveler and Thassa's Oracle.
Heck yeah,
and then
dude.
online, if you have to stack it right. If you stack it wrong, you lose. If you stack it right, you win.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's really fun.
Dude, oh, amazing.
Terrible deck, but really fun.
What about Eater of Days? Isn't that the one where you lose
skip your-
two of
Skip your next 2 turns. Nice one, Julian. You've skipped your next 2 turns.
And then it dies, and then you
Wow,
pass.
Flash is broken.
Okay, never mind. What's the next one?
Well, what you could do is get like the torporal creature and Eater of Days. There you go. You've got a 9/8, Julian.
And then it dies.
Oh, and then it dies. Okay, cool. Next one is interesting as well. Frantic Search. What do you think, Julian?
I might have had it on my list and then removed it again. I don't remember. I mean, it's one of those classic ones, right, where people talk about it as being one of the safest. The thing is, I think the way we should look at Frantic Searches, imagine it was not banned and it was legal. Would we be talking about it for like a ban?
No,
I mean,
no, not at all.
we can't really tell, right? Because it was never legal, but still, like, I can't imagine, like,
I don't think it's very good.
Dude, isn't this card actively bad? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, so first of all, like you can't cheat on like if you cheat on mana and then cast this card, like it doesn't really do anything because you wanna actively have 3 lands in play.
I mean,
Right?
the idea is high tide, right?
Yeah,
but
I
yeah.
guess I'm actually happy if High Tide gets pushed a little bit towards at least tier 4. You know.
Yeah. The Frantic Search is, yeah, it would be cool in High Tide, and I really think, High Tide could maybe, it wouldn't get out of tier 2, no way, just because of the addition of this.
Oh, you're very generous tonight.
I'm saying get out of it, it might stay lower. And otherwise, it won't be playing anything. I've seen people say, oh, Randomates could play it. Like, no, you wouldn't play this. It's free, quote unquote, in the same way that Manamorphose is free. Like, but you don't play Manamorphose because it's so awkward to play. You don't know when you're like generating this free mana and stuff. Like, what you're gonna play this like end of turn, then you're losing its kind of effect. It's also -1 card, and then like, what if you just like, okay, so I've got my 3 lands in play, and then you're like, okay, well I'm gonna use this to filter a bit, or maybe get a creature in the graveyard, and it's so easy to be like Pyroblasted or Dazed if it's scary. Like, it's a super clunky card for costing 0 mana.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Right.
So yeah,
So let's say
I
So
think it's bad.
like even if they unban it tomorrow, like I think literally no one would care,
No,
and we just move on.
just High
I
Tide.
know one person who would care. at
I mean,
least.
Marcus,
Marcus.
yes, Marcus, if you're
Marcus
listening,
Marcus is just like there giggling at home.
he's the boy.
Cool. Give Marcus Frantic Search, and maybe you could play or you could play
We unban,
Earthcraft.
dude, we
in
unban this
High
card,
Tide.
but only one player can use it. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, that's flavorful.
Cool.
kind of flavorful. I
So
would
yeah,
take
Frantic,
Consultation.
Frantic Search completely safe, and
This card has been unbanned for Marcus Ewald.
yeah.
Marcus Ewald, please come to the counter, pick up your Frantic Searches.
Astrabe has been unbanned, but you can only play it in Painter. Please.
Oh, Death Touch Shaman only knives.
Oh, what?
Wait, no,
the
wait,
one
slow
consultation
comment.
only in Doomsday.
Wait. Okay, let's go
Oh,
back.
dude, we're getting somewhere.
Gataxian Probe. I think this is a miserable
Blah.
card that we
Yeah.
can.
Dude,
When this was banned, I
worst
actually
gameplay.
burnt one and took a video of it.
It's good. I mean, people can
Honestly?
play Peak. Yeah.
Good.
I want to
fine.
say, I think Gataxi Prop was the most burned on video card in Legacy history. I've seen so many videos of people doing that.
Yeah, good riddance.
I know. I think you just watched the same video like 10 times. I think.
I'd be happy to watch it 100 times if it stays banned. But seriously, like, I mean, to quickly go about it, like, what's so bad about it is just like it takes away the hidden information game, which for basically nothing, right? If the 2 life, I mean, it's 10% of your life total, whatever.
It kills the whole game.
Yeah, it makes it alters the game to a level that's just not stupid, but horrible gameplay. Just yeah. It's like if you get to play hide and seek, but you previously agree on only 6 spots that people can hide.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. It's the closest I can do to describe
it.
Right,
you're only allowed to hide behind the sofas.
And like, you know, like people used to say that Gataxi Probe Cabal Therapy was really sweet, but this is really just, Dan, like, if you want to like headshot someone, you better do it the correct way and just like blind name Cabal Therapy and not get some extra help, because that's like, I don't know, that's like playing bowling, but you have those like child barriers on the side, you know, so you can't really, so you can't possibly fuck up, you know.
Yeah,
those
perfect.
type of things. Yeah.
Child protection. Yeah. By the way, I'm staying at my friend's house, and they have a child whose name is Julian, by the way. No, and they have like lots of these Frances for children, right? So because the guy is like super young, he's 1.5 years old, and I struggle to get across these child gates to open them.
So all Julians are children.
So yeah, Julians must stay out. Yeah, they work very well. One time, actually, I climbed over one of them.
That's a good product, yeah.
Very much so, yeah. Anyway, next one.
Speaking of goblins, Goblin Recruiter.
Yeah, I think that one was on everybody's list, right?
No, I don't think so.
Ooh.
So here's the hot take. So you guys think it's okay?
I think it's okay because goblins are very cute.
I totally agree with that. I am a big fan of cute goblins. But I think this card is secretly way better than it is. And let's be clear here, we're not talking about time things. So Legacy has moved away from GPs and stuff, sadly. We're not talking about time concerns here because people were worried that, it'd take too long to stack your deck. I think this card is actually really broken.
Is it really?
Goblins has just such like if this was
talking about food chain?
Not even food chain, because you can combo. I don't remember how you stack it exactly, but basically with Torch Courier and Kiki Jiki and Snoop, you can set up a really easy kill.
Did we just like resolve a 5-drop and a 4-drop and a 3-drop?
No, you just go like turn 2 Recruiter and you put Snoop and Torch Courier on top, and then you like play the Snoop, and then you play the Torch Courier.
I quickly gotta go to the bathroom, and once you're done explaining the combo, I think we can keep going.
Basically, then the Torch Courier gives Snoop haste, and you put a and then you make a million things, and then you have Kiki Jiki on top. So it's
you resolve 3 creatures, right?
Yeah, but this deck. So basically, this deck also is going to play Vial and Cavern, so it's going to be super resilient to counter spells. Yet, like a removal spell will stop you. But this is like you've spent 5 mana on creatures, but split across things. And goblins is not good, but it's also like your backup plan is playing goblins, which is really, really not bad at all. So I think this, and you'll probably play like 4 Scope Prospectors. You'll make loads of mana. You'll play around the daisies fast. I think the combo would actually be way better than people expect. So as much as a big goblins fan, and I do have the deck and play it a bunch, I think this combo goblins with Recruiter would be a lot better than people expect.
Interesting. You know what? I kind of want to see it like unbanned just because I want to see it.
Yeah. Actually, no, I would like to see, because I obviously could be wrong, but I think this is one of the ones that makes a ton of people's lists. And with the addition of this like Snoop combo, I think it's very compact in cards that you're just kind of fine to play already. Because like people play it in Vintage, right? This is a thing, and people have done okay. Like they 5-0'd a few leagues and like a couple of challenge results. But I don't know. Goblins is not bad at all. Like there's food chain goblins out there as well now, so you could maybe play it with that as well. I think goblins would kill people on turn 2 quite a lot.
On turn 2? Are we talking literally? Oh, because
you can play Lotus Petals, Chrome Mox or Lotus Petals and stuff as well. Yeah, and again, because you're a deck that's just happy to play Caverns, it's pretty hard to interact. You just go like turn 2 Recruiter off Cavern, turn 3, then you go like the Snoop, and then you do need to play the Torch Courier. But
what does Torch Courier do?
You sack it to give a creature haste.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So basically, you have the Snoop. So the 3 cards for the combo is you have Kiki Jiki at the bottom, Torch Courier in the middle, and then Snoop on top. Then you play the Snoop, and then you can play goblins at the top of your library. So you play the Torch Courier for 1 mana, then you sack it to give the Snoop haste, and then there's a Kiki Jiki on top, so you make 1,000,000 of them. I think then you'll probably... Maybe there's some other part there where you have something underneath, I can't remember. And then, yeah. It's pretty compact, and again, like, these are cards that you just find to play. So maybe this is the only hot take one. We'll see. Gush. No, thank you.
I think Gush is not that powerful. Like if
Really?
you, like,
Gush insane in Doomsday?
let's ignore Doomsday for a bit because no one plays Doomsday anyway. But like if you compare Gush to expressive iteration, I would much rather chain expressive iterations into each other than casting Gushes.
Wow.
Like, because dude, like, I mean, you basically give up on your whole mana base, right? Like, what if Gush, I don't know, gets countered, then you have no board whatsoever.
But you're not playing it turn 2. This is like a...
let Gush.
I guess you don't do it, but like, you know,
if you had Fastbot around, dude,
that'd be crazy. That'd be absolutely crazy. But I don't know. Like, Gush in multiples is pretty bad, I think. And again, as I said, like, I would much rather pay 2 mana for expressive iteration than bounce 2 of my lands that could also, like, you know, just cast more spells later.
I think just the way it interacts with Brainstorm is just so broken as well. Like, it is a later game play, but returning lands like Mystic Sanctuary or putting them back for Brainstorm is very powerful interactions with it as well, and then just being free in response to Wastelands.
The Wastelands stuff is so nice.
I think it would be really broken in Delver.
The thing is, you think Delver would play
you
like
make a
2
good argument
copies?
for how good Expressive Iteration is, but I'm hearing ban iteration rather than Gush is okay. I think Gush is better as well.
I'm not even sure we would see like how many Gushes do you imagine like in a Delver deck?
I would put 4 in Delver.
You would put 4,
but they
over,
also
like,
play
Expressive
Daze, right?
Iteration?
I would put 4 Gushes in Delver, and I think it'd be broken.
Like, you could play 4 Gush in 4 days if you add Exploration maybe to your Delver deck. Yeah.
No. I'd play all 4 of each. I really think Gush is that good. Like, the way Delver plays, like, it plays out. Like, at the moment, you're incentivized to play the 4th land because of Sanctuary and then stuff. But like at that point, you're fine to play your 4th land over, especially Sanctuary. Yeah, I think you're undervaluing how good just like a free thing to draw 2 cards is. And then what? Like, the cost is obviously big early. Like, you know, you might do it in response to a Wasteland if you're only lands and stuff. But it is a later game play, but it's a mid to late game play. And I don't know, you just probably always want to see the first one, and then like, okay, 2 turns later or 1 turn later, you play the next one. And
I don't mind doing it like on turn 4. Like when you have like 3 lands in play, which already feels like it's 1 too many, then you do it, you draw 2 cards, and then you replay the land, and you're perfectly fine. And I guess expressive iteration you only ever do like as early as turn 3, so Gush is more like a turn 4 play. Where like on turn 4 it's perfectly fine, right? On turn 3 I guess. Actually, on turn 3, it's actually okay.
It's fine. Like, the deck, Delver operates off 2 lands and
it
often
even gives
1
you
land.
extra yeah, actually, you know, when you think about it, like if it
can
gives
be your
you 1
3rd
extra
land
mana.
drop.
It generates mana in a way sometimes.
Yeah, in a weird way.
Okay. But the thing is, it's already broken in Doomsday, we're never going to embed it, right?
Yeah. But let's just pretend like Thassa's Oracle was banned then.
Like, didn't you guys notice that, like, in the screenshot I sent you, I put like Gush next to Demonic Consultation just to send like a message?
Didn't even check.
Oh, you went out of your way to edit it? Oh my god.
Dude.
You did as well. Yeah, I don't know what you're smoking. Yeah, I'll go on record saying I think this is better than you're realizing.
You convinced me.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm happy that Gush is in you know, on this list for banned cards. I'm totally happy with that. But I'm just saying that, like, it's not far better than expressive iteration. That's all I'm saying. It might actually be worse. I don't know. I think it's like they're kind of comparable.
No. Actually, now that I've actually thought about it in my head, as opposed to like I guess in my belly or something, I think it's actually way better than expressive iteration. And I agree with Callum that it's way better than expressive iteration.
Yeah, sorry, guy. No, it's just, I don't know. It does a ton of things, and then let's not forget that it's +1 card. Like, you're drawing 2 cards. I think the taking 2 lands back is much more of a drawback than it first seems. You would probably build like the deck differently. So Expeditive Iteration is built towards playing land 4 and land 5. Like you are chaining the iterations then. Whereas Dazes, you just operate off 3 lands the whole game and you just keep returning them and playing them again.
Gush, you mean?
Gush, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Also, it has an amazing German name.
what's that?
Kai, do you know the German name?
I don't know. It's probably super long. Again.
Wassersäule.
Really? Wassersäule.
It's
Water
basically
tower. Water tower.
water column.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The plus side, you could play this really sick art, the vintage promo from Atomic Weekend.
Yeah, but the original is like Mercadian Masks, and Mercadian Masks is just so amazing, right?
True. The original art is awesome. Cool.
Yeah. But also, like, looking back, it's so funny to me. Like, once I became a competitive player, and I looked at Gush, and apparently, that phase where you go from super casual to competitive, and you realize the competitive players are playing these super weird cards that you saw back then when you played in school. You're like, you played this shit? What the fuck?
My favorite one was
7 mana, draw 5. That's so much better, right?
I remember so vividly being in Devon on holiday with my family, and we would go to the a toy shop, and I would get like a booster pack of Magic cards every time we went there. And I got a Tempest pack, and I remember opening a Lotus Petal and thinking it's the absolute worst card I've ever seen. It's a land you have to sacrifice, and you get to use it once. It's absolutely terrible.
If there was a Power 9 in Legacy, I would definitely put Lotus Petal in there because I think the card's pretty broken.
It's so broken. Yeah, I completely agree. It's a broken card. But I was just like, dude, I'm trying to ramp to my Crush of Worms. What the hell? I'm not gonna.
Yeah, dude. Like I had exactly the same feeling when I had my first Chromox in a Mirrored and booster pack. Same thing. I even got a loser card, dude. Like, just get out of here.
Awful. Just play a land. What are these idiots talking about? Why is it so expensive? Yeah.
Amazing.
Anyway.
All right. Next one is actually interesting. Not like Frantic Search and Earthcraft, where it's like, pretty bad. Hermit Druid. What do you think, Kai?
Can be bolted. It's okay.
Julian?
I think we can unban it. It's not a card I really want to have legal, but on the other hand, it dies to so many things.
I think it's safe as well. I think this is the first one we're talking about that's safe, that we're all agreeing on, and would probably be played, and it would be its whole archetype itself. Like, I think it'd be quite strong as well. But I think there's just so much. It dies to removal, as you said. People would probably try and play it with, I don't know, Lightning Greaves, for example, something like that. I don't know.
Honestly, I believe it. People would literally play it with Lightning Greaves.
Yeah. But I don't know. It uses the graveyard. So much graveyard hate exists now. Like back then, you didn't have Surgical or Fairy Macabre or I guess you had Tormund Script, but like, yeah.
Can you put it like in a shell with like Thassa's Oracle or something? I don't know. Like you get to play lands, right?
You play like you just can't play basics. That's it.
Yeah.
So it'd be pretty powerful in the fact that you could just play cantrips as well, and then you'd probably play Dread Return, Thassa's, and Narcomoebas.
Yeah, like your biggest problem is you have to pass the turn with a creature in play, and
yeah. I think it would be a tier 2 combo deck.
Yeah, I think it would be decent. Like not only decent, like good. Even I think it would be good. Probably not tier 1, but who's to tell, really? But
yeah.
I'd
like to see it unbanned. I think this is one of the cards I'd like to see unbanned the most.
Oh, you'd like to see unbanned? Okay, I'm still operating in the mode of if we had to unban some cards, I think this is closer to unban than not unban.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
I don't know if I want it around. I don't think so, but
I'd like to see it. I can't imagine this being too good at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of with Julian here. I don't think it adds a lot of value to Legacy.
It's a combo deck. Like it's just different to other combo decks. I love combo decks, but I don't think it's like it's. I wouldn't want to introduce like a Flash, even if Flash was a little bit worse. Let's say somehow like if Flash had to use the graveyard so you could interact with it. That's not a combo deck I'd want to introduce to the format because it's got Flash. It's not a creature you can use removal and stuff. It's not a healthy kind of play pattern to introduce, even if the power level was okay. But Hermit Druid feels like the power level is fine, and it's very easy to interact with, like at multiple points. I think it'd be.
Yeah, I think you would find a way to play it in Fs or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That'd be okay.
Yeah. So, me personally, I like to see it. Next is Imperial Seal. We talked about that earlier already. It sucks. All right, next one, Library of Alexandria. This is an interesting one.
Okay.
I've seen it do so much damage in Vintage, even though it hasn't been really big in Vintage at all for a long time, right?
Yeah. I think that this might be like one of those cards where we have a lot of like different opinions, because I personally think that Library of Alexandria is totally okay in Legacy, and here's why, right? Because if you play Library of Alexandria and you use every single turn, that means that you probably don't cast a lot of spells, or they better be cheap interaction spells. Right?
I mean, you still get to do like 2 cards a turn, right?
You get 2 cards per turn.
No,
right.
I mean, you get to like play a land and cast a spell, and then you still get to activate library, right? Once it keeps going.
I guess, yeah. I guess you can, like, you know, so in like control decks, it's definitely powerful. But I'm saying that it is still Legacy where people play Wastelands. People can also like just win while you keep drawing cards. Like those cards you draw, they better be good at answering threats.
Yeah. So I'm imagining like basically like a chess guy control deck with like sorts of plowshares and bolts. So you can constantly like delay the game, and then you, I don't know. I'm not even sure. I guess you have to play Force of It just because you have to. But other than that, maybe I'm going crazy here, like Path to Exile, like you don't care. You just want to answer. And then your first game against combo is going to be horrible. And yeah, I mean, that's basically how Jeskai works a lot of times anyway. But
I was feeling like the card's fine, and then until you said like Jeskai Control might be good, then I'm off it. No, jokes aside, I think this is actually the hardest one to evaluate, probably on the whole ban list.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen both sides, and I'm really struggling to evaluate it. I've seen totally fine and probably not very good. I've seen completely broken, and I lean slightly to the too good side just because it's one of these things where like in some matchups it'll be bad. Sometimes it just gets wastelanded. Sometimes it's just a colorless land. It's a terrible card late game as well, like which as lots of lands are, to be fair. But some games will just be completely decided by it, and it's you can't really interact with it. It's not a thing you can counter or like remove at all. It's just like in a control mirror. Whoever has like library go is just going to completely win without even trying. It's not going to be a competition. So I think it's just uninteractive, and in the right matchups, it's too good. So it's probably not a fun unban either.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't even touch on the fun or not fun point.
Yeah,
it's probably definitely in the not fun at all. Like because like if you draw it as a colorless land, that's not fun at all for the player. And then if you actively use it, then it's not fun for the opponent. Yeah. I'm just saying that the effect is, it sounds really ridiculous, but it like, how often do you end up in a spot where this card is like actually game deciding? It's maybe like 20% of the games. Maybe I'm by the way, I'm
that's
super
a lot,
bad at
actually.
numbers. Okay, oops. Let's say 2.
Kai's like, what are the chances? 100%?
never tell me the odds.
Yeah, I'm really struggling to evaluate it. It'd be cool to. I would love there to be some leagues on Magic Online where they just like let one card be legal for a month. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, actually, that's cool.
Yeah, we'd probably split the leagues of players too much. But if we had more players playing Legacy Online, it'd be cool to.
Honestly, you know what we should do, Callum? Once I'm back and I have to do another trade fair in Hamburg, maybe we can arrange like a show match, and one of you guys plays library.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but I think,
let us know.
I don't know. I think you need to get like a better idea from hundreds of matches and playing.
Of course.
Seeing it like how the meta adapts around it and stuff.
That's true. That's true. But it's entertaining.
Yeah, true. But I lean to maybe even not even what I mean by fun or not unfun is like the effect it has on the meta. Like Control would just have to play something to deal with it. I guess they play Wastelands already.
Yeah, or like Field of Ruin or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I lean to probably not a safe unban, but I can totally see how like it'd be introduced and then it just sucks. So
yeah, right.
Yeah. I guess the conclusion is that it can be kind too swingy. Because if you, like you said, right, if in a lot of matchups, if you go turn 1 library, it's so insane, and then at the other time, it's literally worse than basic land.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool in lands to be like loaming and then dredging and stuff.
Yes,
dude, they never have 7 cards in hand. Like, what are you talking about?
No, when they loam, they do. With loam returning,
unless you have like cycle lands and loam again and cycle and loam
returning
again.
Punishing Fire, loaming back lands.
Oh, dude, and then you get to draw 1 extra card after you already like survived loam.
No, you dredge a loam and then you get to like draw 3 cards.
Julian, hello.
All right, it doesn't sound that good in lands. It'd be like a one-off to crop rockfall probably.
I don't even think it would see play in lands, honestly.
I could buy that. That's interesting, actually. All right, next we have Lurus of the Dream Den. Moving on. Next we have Mana Crypt. Moving on.
Wait. Lures of the Dream Den?
Okay, actually, we could talk about it if companion didn't work.
Wait, no. Isn't there actually talk about like that people want Lurus and Serta unbanned under the new companion rule because we've never seen them in Legal and Legacy?
Pretty much so. I think they're probably okay. Just people have a lot of like just leftover brain damage from like when the cards were.
Dude, seriously, if you ever form a band, please call them leftover brain damage.
All right, I have lots of brain damage then because I think even with the extra 3 mana on, Lurus would be too good for Legacy.
Yeah, it'd be kind of ridiculous. Yeah,
I think I also definitely wouldn't unban it, but I think there's enough talk about that we should at least like quickly linger on it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. No, thank you.
But okay. I mean, okay. To be honest, like people played Yorion, and like, crazy people like Unrock even played Yorion without even anything to flicker, just because it's an extra card and you get to pitch it and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it would still be ridiculously good, and I don't want to unban it, but I pay like.
It's worth mentioning.
People talking about it.
Yeah. I think Zerda we'll come to soon. Let's touch on it at the bottom. But I think Lurus, yeah, you're right. It's worth touching on. But I think even at 6 mana, it's too good. Like it's, I mean, we know what it does. I'm not going to go off about how it's broken, but it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got some positives. Murktide Regent would be banned from the format. But that's about it.
I guess.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Mana Crypt, obviously, no.
Mana Crypt honestly has a case for being the number 1 pick in Cube over like Soul Ring. Like people are already picking over Black Lotus unless you're in combat.
Oh, really?
Cards.
Really? I thought Soul Ring is like not
yeah,
even close number 1. Interesting.
I mean that's the
I think
discussion,
Soul
right?
Ring's
Soul
number
Ring
1.
versus Mana Crypt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, there is
Soul Ring is better, I guess.
There is an amazing Vintage Cube draft for the Mox 1 year ago, where the German guy, what's his name, old school player.
Kai Bude?
No.
Same exact thought.
He's known by 3 initials. Anyway, he I can't remember if it was pick 1,
Kai?
pack 1. I think it was, and he took Blade Splicer over Mana Crypt, and everyone went crazy, and then he won.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he wheeled Mana Crypt, what?
No. He took. Oh, I'm gonna be kicking myself for his name now. But
German
anyway.
guy, 3 initials?
Yeah, it'll come to me later on.
And he's like a former pro or something?
Yeah, he played years ago. JDM? No, that's Sean Emmanuel Duprat. Begins with a J. Oh, I'm kicking myself. Everyone listening at home is going to be like, it's this guy, you idiot.
JPA or?
No. Right, start talking about Mana Drain, and I'll look it up, because Mana Drain's interesting as well.
Well.
Mana Drain. Like, when was the last time people played Counterspell?
Like, honestly, Mana Drain is a little bit like communism. Like, people are like, hey, let's try it. It's going to be great. And then it's really not going to do all that much anyway.
Yeah, pretty much so.
You can do some cool things, like, interesting is, like, you can Mana Drain into stuff like Khan.
Oh, or Shark Typhoon, maybe.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah. Saber Shark
Dude,
Typhoon.
like you counterspell something and then you get like a 7/7 shark. I mean, that's great. No, oh, just me. Okay, good.
Okay, so Mana Drain bad.
It's who cares, dude? Like
we don't even
really,
cast Chase anymore.
Yeah, I don't think that people wanna like just keep up keep 2 islands untapped very often.
I think people don't want to put Mana Drain in their deck most of the time.
Yeah, it's
like what are you gonna do? What are you gonna cast with it? That's the big thing. Like you're not gonna basically alter your deck building so you get to use your Mana Drain mana really, honestly. So what are you gonna cast with it? Like Uro, like Minsk and Boo, I guess, but even that's not great. No, I'm not seeing it.
No,
but on the other hand, I also don't want it unbanned because it's one of those cards that. Yeah, I guess if I had to unban it, I would unban and wouldn't care. But I don't know. There's something inside me that hates Mana Drain. I guess part of it is that weird thing where you have to go to you always have to announce you go to your second main phase and stuff, and I hate it.
Okay. So it's like Julian's like leftover brain damage. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Leftover brain damage from playing Vintage. Like I've seen people argue about which main phase it was. Like, is this the first or second main phase? I hate it so
that
much.
Is the actual worst when you go like, hey, I purposely go to my second main phase and cast something.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And I hate that. And I've seen that so many times and I don't want that back.
All right, I've got the player, Jan Moritz Merkel.
Oh, dude, that's like from way back, right?
Yeah, but he won the Mox a couple of years ago. And
Was he ever known by his initials?
JMM.
Really?
He is currently. He's like crushing lots of arena things now. But
Okay.
anyway, let's come back to me. Cool.
Or maybe I confused him for Marco Blume, but that was anyway. Yeah. Let's go.
So Mana Drain, I agree with you guys. I think it could totally come off, and it would not be very good. So
Yeah.
it would suck.
Yeah.
All right, Mana Vault is same. Like the fast artifact mana. I'm just going to say the name and just know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like,
Memory Jar.
Mana
Oh,
Vault.
Mana Vault's broken. What are you talking about?
Mana Vault
Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay.
It casts ad
ritual.
nauseum. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, you get. Yeah, okay.
it
let's
comes
keep
off
going.
Saga.
Ooh,
Okay, yeah, okay. That's actually insane.
It's also just like broken. Yeah.
Okay, anyway. We're gonna put an asterisk to that. I was actually
Really?
thinking, like, what are we gonna do with Mana Vault?
Cast Khan.
Yeah,
Cast ad nauseum.
I mean, you can already Dark Ritual into those cards. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
you can play it in the first turn and store it, but
Yeah, you can cast it off Ancient Tomb.
I mean, that's
yeah,
also
that
Voltaic.
honestly, Ancient Tomb. Okay, now you got me. Okay, now I'm with you. Like, you can cast off Ancient Tomb, and that's actually 4 mana on the first turn. And now I don't want to unban it. Like, I didn't want to unban it before,
Cool.
but I thought, like, what are we really gonna cast with it? But Ancient Tomb, okay, sure. Yeah,
You're just thinking like, oh, I can cast Nissa Vital Force with it.
you know me so well, dude.
You gotta cast powerful cards.
No, the thing is, like, we know these cards in Academy shells, right?
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and that's not a thing in Legacy. So
Like, just think of this with like Echo of Eon's decks as well.
yeah. Okay.
Hull breaches and all that stuff. Cool. Memory Jar.
Let's
Dude,
make Kai
Jar-
go first.
Yeah, Jar is bad. I almost want to group a lot of like those draw 7s together
Yeah.
because I put quite a few of them in the list for the to unban. It's like Wheel of Fortune, Time Twister, the Memory Jar itself, and even something like Windfall also. Like I think those cards are actively pretty bad for you because both players draw 7 cards, but you tapped 3 mana for that effect, right? So unless you continue with something ridiculous on the same turn, your opponent's gonna do their action first, and which I think is just not very good, right? Obviously, you can pair it with things like a Narset or Hull Breacher, but then again, Days Undoing does already exist, and also like LED plus Echo of Aeons exist, and that's literally Black Lotus into Time Twister, and like those cards are okay. So I don't know. Like Memory Jar, I think is just way too overpriced. Like 5 mana is just way too much. And those Wheel of Fortune effects, like 3 mana. If you want to cast 3 mana, draw 7s, I think first of all, I think the games will be pretty fun because I personally like draw 7s. I think that they add a lot of value to games, but they're not particularly strong. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. I'll say, yeah, Jar is probably the worst of them, I feel like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, should we like rank all 4 of them?
Yeah, let's. So I think.
So what's the best then?
I think
So
Wheel
what-
is the best by far. I think it's the only one that I wouldn't want to see unbanned because it just plays so well in the already pretty strong like the Epic Gamble. I think it's just not
Doesn't
that.
get pyroblasted.
No, yeah, I think discarding as well is just a big positive for decks that would use Past and Flames and stuff like that as well. Yeah, I think Wheel of Fortune is by far the best, and I think Time Twister and Windfall and Jar all suck. To be honest,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm kind of with you.
I think Memory Chart is even lower than the other two.
Yeah. I think Memory Jar's the bottom, then Windfall, then Time Twister,
Right.
and then Wheel at the top. Like I think Time Twister is even worse than Echo, definitely.
Remember that the Time Twister used to be a card to reset dredge decks, for example.
Yeah, I know. I
Right.
know.
So
You know what happened to me when I played Dredge in one of my very first tournaments? I went Bazaar Go. My opponent cast Wheel of Fortune and eventually passed the turn back to me.
oh no! Oh god!
I had a lot of fun.
And there's just still some remains of that person at the venue.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Cool.
So yeah,
I think
kind
it
of
sounds
funny,
like we're all
right?
in agreement here with the draw
How
sevens.
these wheel effects are
Yeah.
not as good as I would always approach it from the other side. If they were legal right now, and of course it's super hard to tell, but I don't think we'd really be talking about a lot of them
I
as in
can't
being,
imagine so.
ban-worthy.
There's like people play one Days Undoing in some Narset shells as like just a way to interact unfairly against decks that go bigger or combo decks. So maybe you would see like one Time Twister in Grixis or Bandit Control, whatever, but it's not really that much better than Days Undoing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so I guess you get to play the deck that plays 8 basically 3 mana Days and Doing effects and 8 Narset / Hybrid effects.
Yeah. But I think Echo is just better than
Right.
Time Twister and Windfall.
Like, isn't Echo like easier to cast because of Lionside Diamond? And,
Yeah.
like,
I mean, yeah, but
Right.
you also have to you don't have to discard your hand, but yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
I mean, Julian, like you don't cast draw 7s if your hand is really good.
No, I
Right.
guess no. But in those decks, the idea is you cast draw 7s as you have like Narset or Hybrid in play, right? And then you can even fight over it, and then you just win. So with Ancient Tomb, I think there's a deck there, and I have a hard time actually estimating how good it would be. But my gut feeling is, at least for Memory Char, certainly it's just like unbanned, whatever, dude.
Yeah, it's 5 mana. Like,
Yeah.
let me have some fun with Goblin Welder, goddammit.
It's also so weird to resolve, because then you have to, like, when you pass back, you put back the hand, you get your original hand back, and once you have like used several Memory Chars, then okay, well,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter, I guess.
Cool. Mental Misstep. Moving quickly onwards. You guys agree?
The thing is,
No-
I didn't hate
no
the
comment.
metagame. I didn't hate the metagame that we played in Mental Misstep.
This is your dig through time.
Yeah, in a way, but on the other hand, I was happy to see it. No, like, I was rather happy to see it go, but I also learned so much during it. So I'd rather not have it legal, but I also
Legacy was quite slow during that time, right?
yeah,
Wasn't it?
like, I mean, that's the whole idea of Mental Misstep, right? You get
Yeah.
to counter the 4-drop without like having to pay mana for it. So you overall, like, everything gets a little bit slower, and that's what it did, and that's what we did back then, Legacy. But yeah, honestly, yeah. Basically, the downside of Dig Through Time is the downside of Mental Misstep, of course, is that basically everybody plays it, and it makes it feel like we all start like with 6 or 5 cards in hand instead of 7 or 6. So in that way, that's more variance.
Yeah, this was one of the biggest complaints the only real complaint from the Unchained thing we did was like everyone just said I felt like I had to just play Misstep or
Exactly. Yeah. That being said, though, I love the one-off Mental Misstep you can play in Vintage, because like that Mental Misstep is usually like, super clutch in most of the
That's
games.
true.
Like when you misstep something like an Ancestral or even a Pyroblast or something, like those.
Yeah,
are
there's a trick.
cool moments. But like if you have too many of those mental missteps, and same for your opponent, like there's like a certain play pattern that just keeps rotating the whole time.
Yeah. All right. Mind Twist. I reckon we're probably all going to feel similarly
Dude,
about this.
that's a pretty weak Magic card.
Yeah. Twist
Don't you think?
sucks.
Like Twist really sucks. I don't know when it why it got banned, but like what's I guess X4 is pretty strong, but like most of the time it's an inferior him to Torok, I feel.
Yeah.
It's like a mind drought, right? For three mana.
I think there's the little thing where like, Ancient Tomb decks could use it pretty well, but meh. Like if it was ever good, you just like value.
I mean, this is basically much the poster child of, if it's good, it's horrible, and if it's not good, who cares?
Yeah. But there's maniacs out there that love this card. Like I don't really subscribe to the thought of like, well, to an extent. I think is that everyone thinks it'll be bad, and I think so, but then everyone says the reason to keep it unbanned is it's not fun. But there's loads of bad cards that aren't played that aren't fun as well. Like it just wouldn't be played very much, I think.
Yeah.
It's not going to like decide any games that you were going to win anyway.
Remember when Blackvise was banned in Legacy? Like, it's probably gonna go down as one of those cards.
I think so. Yeah. So I would like to see it unbanned just because people can try it for a bit, and then it's
I literally don't care whether it's unbanned or not banned.
yeah.
And I guess if you you know what they say, right? If you stay silent, you take the side of the oppressor. So I guess I'm on the side of oppressing Mind Twist.
God, disgusting. Kai,
Dude, I don't care.
cool. Oppressor as well. I'm for the Mind Twist. Let's go. Okay. Talking of minds, Mind's Desire. So this is one that I always thought was like completely broken, and then saw Bryant saying he thinks it actually sucks, and then I'm coming around to that.
This is a pretty like a pretty dangerous card, but first of all, like if you cast every time you cast it's a blast to cast.
It's
right?
so much fun,
like,
right?
It is super fun. Like be it in Vintage or in I guess the Commander or in any format where you play it. I think the only dangerous thing about this card is that like in a Storm deck, if you ramp up to Mind's Desire and then like one of the cards you reveal is like actual Tendrils of Agony, like it doesn't give your opponent a lot of room to interact because they're all like storm spells.
You know what's even more fun? If one of the cards here does another Mind's Desire. That's where the real fun starts.
Dude. And then you Mizzix's Mastery, the Mind's Desire.
Oh shit, twin cast? Yeah, any of those,
Yeah. I remember when we played Legacy Unchained, it was one of the decks everybody played, but nobody really knew how to properly build it, and I think eventually we got like lazy and nobody really wanted to innovate on it.
The problem with that is I think I built the list that everyone just like, so obviously we had too many decks we needed to play and stuff, so that was a mistake, but I think everyone just then started copying other lists, and this one looked really cool. It was really fun. Yeah. So everyone tried this and stuff. And you know what? Like discarding it to a looting or whatever, or maybe Frantic Search, and then Mizzix mastering it was pretty powerful.
No, I never tried that. I just like tried to hardcast it with like Seething Song and all that kind of stuff.
But yeah, you can do that as well. So I think blue-red with it's pretty cool. Like I don't know if you'd be Dark Richeling this out, rather you'd be going blue-red. But I don't know.
You know my favorite Mind's Desire deck? That Heartbeat Desire deck that Chris McDaniel played at Pro Tour Los Angeles 2005 and extended.
I don't know that, but that sounds
blue
like
green,
such
right?
my thing.
Yeah, blue-green. It was probably the most beautiful deck I ever played. Early Harvest.
Heartbeat with Early Harvest was, I played it in standard with like Maga Traded to Mortals. Like, I love those kind of combo decks. Very cool. But yeah, do you think we could unban it? Or
I think it's okay, but I would put it on the watch list basically. Just have an eye on it.
Honestly, isn't Galvanic Blast actually better? I mean, you still have to pay mana, but in that kind of deck that plays it, it almost feels free.
Galvanic Relay, not Blast.
Oh yeah, but did I say Blast?
It's 5 damage on opponent.
Oh, so that's better than Mind's Desire.
You know what?
Yeah, I mean, Brian Cook has been saying that the Galvanic Relay is a red necro.
Yeah, I think I would say Relay is probably better than Desire as well.
Might be, yeah. Curious to see.
Yeah, I would say also unbanned, but watch list. It's a very hard one to.
Honestly, I could imagine that there's like a really, really insanely good Mind's Desire deck out there that only a few people would play. But by the end of it, I'm not sure it would be better than Doomsday, because I would imagine you said red blue.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of me feels like black blue because black also has rituals and has some more insane stuff that you can hit.
That's true. Maybe it's just better to go Dark Rituals and Tendrils or anything. I don't know. Maybe there's other stuff. I think, this is one of the cards where the obvious stuff doesn't sound as good, but still pretty strong. But there could be something like much more dangerous out there, like with Grim Monoliths and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, interesting one. Mishra's Workshop. Anyone?
Are you ridiculous?
Cool.
I mean, we still have like 4 Trinisphere and 8 above spheres and stuff. Like this is.
So when we were talking about this in our Discord a couple of months ago, we said if you could play Legacy, but each person gets to choose one card to be unbanned. This was my card that I chose.
Of course, it was yours.
I think this is more powerful than being able to play Ancestral Recall in Legacy. Not because I love artifacts, but I think like 4 Trinisphere, Chalice, Lodestones.
Like, what
Thorn,
were they thinking?
Sphere.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. Very broken.
And honestly, this is still from the time when artifacts weren't that crazy broken.
No, you're playing I mean, turn 2 Triskellion's pretty fucking.
Yeah, but that's still like a creature and attacks and takes a couple of turns and stuff. And even like when Tinker came out, like people were getting like Crumbling Sanctuary and Phyrexian Processor and stuff. Like it took another generation of like design to arrive at a point where we got so ridiculous stuff that this is like must ban and stuff in Legacy.
I have a Phyrexian Colossus right in front of me. Talking of old Tinker. So tomorrow, quick derail, but tomorrow I'm organizing and playing a pre-modern tournament, and I can't decide between goblins or like a blue-red brew with Tinker and Goblin Welder and Mastercore and Phyrexian Colossus and stuff.
I already know what it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, isn't Mastercore pretty cool?
Mastercore's so cool. Oh my god,
dude.
Yeah, okay.
It's the godfather of Magic.
Yeah. All right, but no workshop allowed in that, sadly.
Yeah.
Next we have the 5 Moxen. Obviously, we'll just allow them. That's fine. They're totally fine.
Yeah.
Mystical Tutor. We kind of touched on it before, but we kind of more went over Imperial Seal. So, what do you guys think of Mystical Tutor?
That's much stronger than Imperial Seal.
Yeah, I agree.
Just to name a few cards like Terminus and Treaty Angels. Those kind of cards are pretty good with Mystical. It's also obviously super good with Doomsday. Also, like with any show and tell deck, I would assume.
Yeah,
I think it would just drastically push all non-blue decks just at least one tier lower because like combo decks are super consistent then, and control decks can always get the terminus even as soon as turn 2.
Yeah, it's wild how much of a difference sorcery and instant speed makes, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Honestly, I could see Mystical Tutor creating a metagame where people start playing Predict again or something.
or Thought Scour.
It's a lot of fun magic, yeah. Of Thought Scour.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I imagine somebody goes like Mystical Tutor, then the other guy goes, okay, predict you. It's like, no, predict myself and respawns or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I wouldn't want to see this unbanned.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. Cool. Kai, you're not allowed to answer the next one.
Uh-oh.
Julian, what do you think of Necropotence?
It was once famously called the worst card in Ice Age by Inquest magazine, if I remember correctly. Yeah,
Amazing.
They literally called it the worst card in the entire set, which is probably one of the biggest fails in the history of Magic card evaluation, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about the card as I was walking back today, and I was like, it's just horrible to play against. And I mean, it has it doesn't really have like fail cases because you get a ton of cards, so I don't want to unban it. I think it would
draw 15 cards has a very low.
Yeah, I'm just like trying to remember. And how do you actually get like what?
It's
so stupid.
It's completely broken.
No, the only thing is like the thing that makes me think is like, why do I never see this go super crazy in Vintage? Like, I mean, you do it in Doomsday, right? You
Because it's restricted.
Oh yeah.
Okay, if I may say something,
Okay.
it's pretty terrible against Madness or anything that's super fast
In Vintage.
in Legacy.
Okay.
Madness
if this
policing the
card
format
was-
since 2019 or something.
I guess it's also pretty bad against Initiative.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Is it?
For any against any fast deck. So in Vintage Doomsday, I always take out Necro against anything that's fast. So against any Hollow One deck, against any Vengevine deck, against any deck that
They are much faster than Initiative, though. Like,
Yeah,
I'll agree. If you play against Legacy Dredge, you might be in a bad spot, but
I guess, yeah. It's obviously dude. The card is just broken in half.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It'd be
this
fine
card
if
is
Dark
ridiculous.
Ritual didn't exist, but
Woo!
it does.
Woo!
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
let's keep it banned.
Broken. Oath of Druids? Let me kick off. I think it's not that hard to play around and to remove and interact with, but it's incredibly stifling on deck diversity in the format, and it's still very strong and would just like crush a lot of random creature decks. And
I mean, it would be good against Delver, so that I like.
yeah. I think there was a kind of like showcase-ish thing where there was an argument in Delver chat. This is years ago when I was still checking it, and Matt Vuk was saying it's broken. And I
Honestly,
can't remember who said it wasn't, but he said like, "I'll money match you 5 matches. Let's go." And he just put it in a fair shell, and he crushed. I think.
so actually, what do you get? Like, you get Griselbrand, right? That's the tier 0, or the level 0 play. You get Griselbrand, or you get, like, sometimes people get Emrakul, even though that feels so weak.
You might even just get Arcana Cruelties. I don't know.
Or maybe Arcan,
well,
yeah.
Oh, I was thinking I like Mizzet Parun, no?
What?
No?
Sorry.
Yeah, Niv Mizzet is played in Vintage.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, last time I played against Oath and Vintage, they got Inferno Titan. I was like, what
Nice.
the fuck is this
Have
guy
you
doing?
never cast a Brainstorm with a Niv Mizzet in play? Wait, what?
I actually have not, no.
I've played Niv Mizzet in Vintage just in a blue-red control deck.
Honestly,
Like,
people
no-
just
no
probably
oath.
get like Shield Red or something.
It's a regular creature?
Yeah. It was years ago at like we were like 5 to 10 people that I used to run them monthly at a pub.
Yeah, dude.
And I played against Francis, and I'd run to the shop to buy 2 just to play them. And I went like turn 2 like Mox, Second Land, Black Lotus, just cast Niv Mizzet. And he was like, well, I've got 3 forces in my hand. I guess I'm dead.
Yeah, I can definitely dig it.
I don't even know what creatures Oath would play because I think it would twist the format around it, and then what you play depends on that. But yeah, I think this is one of the few cards where like its effect on the format and like fun to play would take precedent over is it actually too powerful, because I think it might be slightly too powerful still, but it's not broken like lots of the other cards on the list, but it's also just like not good for the format.
I think
It's
would
probably
make it
not
so-
good. Yeah, it's probably not good, but what I like is that it beats on both Delver and Mono White Initiative. That's Like that's like
the initiative would just beat it. Like they source.
I was gonna say, it's literally like if they get Oath and with Initiative, you almost feel like, oh sweet, that's gonna be like double time walk. They have to pass now, and then they get Grizzlebrand. I just like remove it, and then like Caracas, for example, and then I attack, and then I guess then they get another creature, which might be Emrakul, which also probably can't be it.
I think you wouldn't play Emrakul in this.
Yeah, I don't think so neither. Yeah, like maybe maybe actually it is Archon of Cruelty, but that feels so weak. I don't know. I think here's the thing. I think the biggest strength of Oath would be that you can play a proper deck around it that just doesn't happen to play other creatures.
Yeah, you'd play like swords and ending and cantrips and stuff, and you'd be a fair deck with. I think. I don't know if you could be like Orchard, but
you could be like a super hardcore banned control deck, for example, without any creatures really, just the two fatties and just a bunch of removal.
Yeah,
counters like a control Oath. Yeah, like the fun thing about Oath is that in Vintage at least you can go either control Oath or combo Oath. Where with combo Oath it's kind of like a Hermit Druid where you just mill all your stuff in the graveyard and then you go off.
I played a build that was Breach as well. So you'd like mill your deck, and then you would have a It was just playing Grizzlebrands, and then you'd like mill a bunch of cards in the process. Then you'd draw into fast mana, cast the Breach, and just go off.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
You know Christopher Alzheimer? He's like a Doomsday god of old, and he played that in German Highlander, which is basically EDH format without a general, so just like 100 cards, different ones. And I saw that in like 2009, I want to say, where he literally played Oath in his deck so he could mill his entire deck and then go off with like graveyard.
That's cool. So
yeah, what are you doing? Do you unban Oath or do you not? I think I'd rather not, just because it might wrap the format more than most other cards.
Yeah, I strongly wouldn't for that reason.
Just keep it out there.
Yeah. All right, next is my maybe least favorite card of all time, Oko.
It's miserable.
Fuck this card so much.
How do you even make a case to unban it?
Yeah, actually. Okay, let's play a game.
You can't even destroy Murktide with it.
Convince us why we should unban Oko as a game.
Because Magic needs more sexiness. I don't know.
He's a pretty damn good looking planeswalker.
That dude is shredded.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
That guy's like so sassy.
Speaking of bullshit cards, Ragavan is next.
Oh god. Do you guys remember that it's been exactly a year, I think, since the Ragavan ban?
Has it?
I think so. I think it was January 2022.
Sounds about right. Honestly, like the best thing about Ragavan was like watching people who play the kind of bullshit decks I had the most suffer. While I was also kind of suffering, but not all that much.
Yeah. Okay. It's actually similar to what's happening at the moment. Like, so you playing Elves was just naturally good against it, whereas right now Painter for me is quite good against Initiative. So it's like a weird thing where you feel lucky about it. But people were telling me that like Painter was good against Ragavan then, because like, I've got Imperial Recruiters and like Goblins can block and stuff, but they still just bolted them and killed me with Ragavan, man. Like,
you say, my 3-drop. Okay, I guess you could play it on turn 2, but still, yeah. Ragavan is another one of those cards. If you forced me to unban 20 cards, it might be up there, but in a 10 card unban format, I don't think it's there.
Can I ask you a quick question? Like, what do you think is stronger, Deathrite Shaman or Ragavan? Just real quick.
It's Deathrite Shaman by a mile.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Deathrite definitely.
Interesting.
I think Justin actually asked that earlier. No, somebody else was.
Yeah, it was something on Twitter, and lots of people were saying. I think Ragavan got the vote as well, but I mean, it depends on format. But Deathrite is better in Vintage and in Legacy and in Modern. And Ragavan might be better in Pioneer if it was ever in that format. I don't know. No, it's definitely Deathrite, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Ragavan's also just a really bullshit, unfun card to play against. So
yeah, I think that's another, like, even Ragavan is interesting in the sense that it's both like their power level wise with regards to like banning it, but also like the play experience is so horrible against it, right?
Yeah.
And then there are some cards like where I guess Mind Twist we talked about, where the play experience could be horrible, but the power level isn't really there. Yeah. Ragavan just like has both.
Leave it in the bin. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Let's not go too deep in it because I know Julian is quite.
I already know what's coming up.
Sensei's Divining Top. Julian has been very, very outspokenly against this card.
Dude, I still can't believe that I was so heavily involved in the first creation of like the first Miracle Sticks. Like, it feels like I built the Death Star and then I defected to the Rebel Alliance.
That's great. I really enjoy top, but I
Yes, the door.
hate countertop. So for me,
Yeah.
I would like top unbanned, but ban counterbalance. It'd be one of the defining cards of the format. Back again.
That's a
for
little
sure.
bit like saying, dude, I love tanks, but I hate war.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
cool.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly that. Because I also enjoyed a single sense dividing top in Storm, but I hated it in counterbalance top miracles.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Dude, I mean, it's amazing in Painter as well, right? But I mean, yeah.
Oh yes.
I mean, running tanks over like a track and like doing races and stuff, I guess that's amazing. But I mean, in the end, war is gonna come and there's gonna be the counterbalance.
I think before Saga, and like Saga can grab one.
my
I think
goodness.
before Saga, there was a real case to trying it without counterbalance. I know, Julian, you strongly disagree, but I think there was a real case to trying it without counterbalance. But I think with Saga now, it's
Honestly, I wanted to have a clause where it can actually only activate it once a turn.
yeah.
Ah,
There's a lot of things you could do, like activating it once per turn would be cool.
Yeah.
But
okay.
anyway, so I think
Well, I don't know. Like every time you activate it, you shrink by
You shrink?
And-
shrink
and-
the person gets
you-
smaller.
like, yeah. You just get just shrink by like an inch or something.
I
Every
have
time
no
you
idea how much
activate
that
it,
is.
every time you activate it, you lose 10 seconds off your clock.
Ooh.
Anyway, so I would like to see unbanned and ban counterbalance probably just to try. But this is one of the I would like to try it in a future league or something.
Dude,
I
so
think
many
it's just-
people would time out so hard on Magic Online if
yeah,
it was ever legal again.
Bring it on, bring it on. Yeah.
You know what was the worst? When they had an active chase and you were tapped out and there was nothing gonna change and they still tapped at the end of turn, then untapped no brainstorm and it's like, did you even think this through? No. Okay. Anyway, let's waste some time.
I think it'd be fine for Magic Online because if they time out, they time out.
If they time out, they time out. This is the color of my love.
If they die, they die.
Oh shit.
Let's talk about a real card now.
Charizard.
Oh shit, I thought we were going to talk about something else.
It's a real card.
Wait, was that really on that list?
No, I thought I had predicted the one that was going to come out, but now you hit me with this shit.
This I think it's banned because you can't
this is
down the
the-
tables, whatever. It's,
This is bad
it's
because it's
sub-games.
this is the ultimate stall out the match after you're up 1-0 card.
Yeah, true. So you
Yeah.
can so Shahara's basically you create a sub game and then whoever loses that loses like 5 life or something.
No, loses
Well, no, it's
half of their life.
half their
yeah,
life,
I
okay,
think.
yeah.
But yeah, you should really play Shaharazad together with Synthas Dividing Top. You know, now we're talking. now we're talking.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
you know the classic Shahrazad, fork it. It's like,
Oh,
my
yeah.
god.
Oh yeah. Okay, I want to see that on just on Magic Online. I want
Like,
to see
you know,
them
like-
try and code that into Magic
What,
Online.
what if you go like once Desire and storm into like 3 Shaharazads or something?
I've definitely seen a picture where like
This sounds like a deck that kinda would submit as a donation deck list.
100%, 110%. You're trying to fork as many Shaharazads as possible.
I think if you do that, they just like automatically refund your entry for the league and just, like, thank you very much, goodbye.
I think I've seen a picture from old school. Maybe it's not old school if it's banned now. I can't really remember. But there's a picture I've seen recently at like a tournament where they were in their 4th sub game or something.
Oh, wait.
How do you even keep track of that?
It goes deeper.
Imagine if the judge comes to the table, it's like, oh, is this the 3rd extra turn? No, this is the 3rd extra game.
yeah. So, all right.
Oh, God.
You asked for a serious one. How about Skull Clamp?
It's so funny, dude. That card is so amazing. So my best friend, by the way, he came into our Warhammer channel now because he's so deep into Warhammer now. But that's just a tangent. We played the EDH Warhammer thingy against each other, and his deck has Skull Clamp. And I told him that this is one of the most busted cards in the history of Magic. And he looked at me, he's like, what? Like, what the fuck? And he barely ever used it until I told him to use it. And I guess he's come around on it now, but it's kind of funny. Apparently, this card doesn't look very good to beginners.
I can see that. Like,
Right, I mean, it kills your creatures, right?
Yeah.
How is that ever good?
like as a beginner, you don't see drawing 2 cards as an inherently really powerful thing. You're looking for like creatures that attack them and stuff and damage, I think.
Yeah. My favorite story about the card is how it was supposed to be +1/+1, and then they wanted to nerf it at short notice.
Yeah.
And they literally just changed it to -1 without testing it and submitted
Crazy.
it for print. Like, imagine, like, we're talking about this multi-million, even like $1 billion company at this point. It's just, Yeah, whatever, dude. Just like -1. It's gonna be fine. Trust me. So yeah, Legacy. What are we gonna do with it? Like, is Young Pyromancer gonna come back?
I'd love to see Young Pyromancer.
Or rather, Ironclad or whatever it's called now.
Oh yeah, Iconoclast or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool cards. Get off Saga.
Oh yeah, again, right?
Ooh,
But again, like super highly dangerous.
I think Clamp is too good and mostly too dangerous. It's a lot more clunky than people think, but it just snowballs so fast. Like, I don't know. Would you play in Elves? Probably.
I guess you could make it work in Earthcraft.
Maybe. But
So you can draw your entire deck while you're also winning. Amazing.
my Unchained deck recently was trying to with the Iconoclast, because there are artifact tokens they make. I was using it with Skull Clamp and Tolaran Academy and Mind Twist. It was terrible, but I was trying to like make Tolaran Academy tap for like 10, and then you get to Skull Clamp all the tokens, and you keep playing baubles and stuff. But you could, yeah.
Like for me, like Skull Clamp is like kind of close to like Power 9 and like all those like super ridiculous spells. I don't think you can ever unban this card in really any format.
I was
except in Commander, but you know, this card is just.
I was thinking about using it in Elves, but Wizards started making like all the Elves a lot more buff. Like they like X2
they don't
everywhere.
die.
Yeah,
Elvish Reclaimer, why are you so big?
Yeah, exactly.
Deathlight Shaman, you know, like all these.
Oh yeah, this card sucks with Deathlight Shaman, so it's bad. Cool.
So
no Unban. Right?
Yeah. But I guess you put it in Goblins. I don't know.
It just draws too many cards.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm just like trying to imagine what the best home for it would be, because it's obviously so broken. Is the
something with Psy in 8 cast and stuff?
So yeah, Psy seems good. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Actually, 8 cast Psy.
Oh
god. Dude. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then you can play more like Mox Opal. They're gonna give you more mana.
There's like Kai's like, okay, just draws cards. Julian's like, Mogwar Marshal, which is also pretty sick. But no, Psy and like Saga fetching is pretty good.
Oh god, yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah. All right, Soul Ring, guys. Anyone?
Yeah, let's move on.
Come on, move on.
Strip Mine.
Horrible.
I don't think we need more than 4 wastelands in Legacy.
Yeah, dude,
right. Next one, Julian, take over. Survival of the Fittest.
Oh yes. Ooh, yeah. Hit me hard. Yes. Dude, what the fuck? No, seriously. Survival of the Fittest, dude. You know, I'm one of the biggest advocates for unbanning that card. Even though like we're not talking about monetary reasons. There are fewer cards in all of Magic that I love more than Survival of the Fittest. From the artwork to the frame to the text to the set, it's just one of my biggest loves in all of Magic. And honestly, like I had my phase where I was actively like talking about it a lot, and I was pushing for it to get unbanned. And the day it got banned was one of the biggest disasters in the history of Legacy, I want to say. It's also the only card. Actually, that's something slightly more serious. It's the only card that ever got banned in Legacy where I felt like it shouldn't have been banned. Every other card that has ever been banned in Legacy, that wasn't banned from the very beginning, I felt like, I think this is, like, I either thought it was, like, very good, or I felt like this is the right thing to do. Survival is the only card ever since I started playing Legacy, which is not from the beginning, but almost from the beginning, where I felt like, I don't think this should have been banned. And if it was unbanned today, I don't think it would be broken.
Was that because of Vengevine or?
Yeah.
Okay. So they should have banned Vengevine then.
I mean, it's the old thing of do you ban the enabler, or do you ban like the broken thing? And in this case, they banned the enabler. And
interesting.
Yeah.
So what was your most favorite build, like survival build back in the day?
Before or after Vengevine?
Doesn't matter.
So before Vengevine, my favorite build was Barn Survivor. It's the first deck where I actually felt like I had agency over the game, which before that, I literally just like cast my spells and hope for the best, like Gigi Gugu Gaga or whatever you would call it.
Right.
That was the first deck where I felt like, oh, I have Brainstorm and I have mana. I don't cast it right in the first turn. I just felt like Barn Survivor was so amazing, and that's the nature of survival decks in the first place. Once Legacy consolidated, the best legacy decks were those who had like 4 silver bullets or something, like Genesis, Squee, and then literally just like 2, like Iona was the big thing, Iona, Loyal Retainers, and then you had like Sour of Temptation, that's it. And then you played like 4 Tarmogoyf, 4 Rock Swarmonk, 3 Vidillion Clicks, 4 Noble Hierarch, and that kind of stuff. That was one of the very best survival decks. The other good survival decks that came along after Vengevine was built, like there was basically a discussion, right? Do you play like blue-green, like Caleb Durwald did when he placed I think second in the GP? Do you play like green-white with more like Knight of the Reliquary, which was my favorite build, even though I have to admit I think the blue-green build was better, even though I think it was close. And that was what we were doing in Legacy back then when it was banned. And if I remember correctly, that was slightly before Surgical Extraction came into the format. And also, I think we always have to think about Legacy before Griselbrand got printed and after Griselbrand got printed. Because after Griselbrand got printed, a lot of combo decks that were more like memes or meme combo decks of people who were like, oh, this is my character, I play combo decks. All of a sudden, those decks were like proper tier 2 combo decks. And I think Legacy as a whole got a lot more accepting of combo decks compared to when Vengevine was still like a thing. And I think if we unban Survivor right now, and I mean, we did it like in Legacy Unchained, right? And even though Legacy Unchained is not representative of how Legacy would look like because it was a lot more broken, the best survivor decks, and I predicted that, were green-white mid-range survival decks. And I still remember, you guys remember Eric Landon when he, former host of Legacy Eternal, sorry, I'm losing my track here. Former host of Everyday Eternal. I still remember when Eric afterwards said, this is ridiculous. This is such a horrible card. You can unban Legacy and wouldn't do anything. And I'm not sure that's perfectly spot on, but I think you can unban Survival.
I think it's safe as well. I think it'd be really fun. It's a really cool card. It's loved. There's some talk of like, yeah, with Hollow One and Vengevine it'd be a bit too good, but as you said, I think Surgical being printed is a huge difference to the format. Everything's just faster, more interaction. Yeah, I think it'd be both really cool nostalgically, and it's just a cool, fun card for people to play with. It's loved, and I don't think it'd be too good either.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone loves survival. That I can agree with.
Dude,
yeah,
back then
like,
we were trying to do stuff like 4 Torment script in the sideboard against that. That was like what we did.
Like, dude, I mean, I do love some positive vibes here, but I'm also like, damn, there's like so much potential to like break it. And I'm just a little scared of. I mean, yeah, it's a demonic tutor for a green mana. You can use it like multiple times. I'm thinking like Gaia's Cradle. I'm thinking like any type of reanimator thing you can keep going.
Yeah, but that's already like somewhat later on in the game, right? Once you have like Gaia's Cradle going and creatures in play, and then you have survival. Now at that point we're like talking about turn 3, unless you're. I mean, some of the most broken builds used LED and Basking Rootwaller to get like a bunch of Vengevines into play, and I mean that's basically the madness deck we have right now. Like. Honestly, the current Madness deck, I think, is actually faster than what we had back then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's why I'm a little like, just back and forth on this card. I'll be happy to see it, back in Legacy, but I'd be kind of curious because it's a little unpredictable for me at least. But yeah, cool card nonetheless.
I feel like slightly on the other side. I think it'd be worse than people expect.
Okay.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting. Like it's one of the hard ones to see. Like it's one of the things where we're talking about the obvious stuff, where you have the Vengevines, the Hollow Ones, you use Basking Rootwallers and the Blazing One and stuff. But then there may be something more broken you can do, to be seen.
Yeah, that's interesting because we're talking about broken stuff, and my feeling is just like I want to play a deck that basically. I was gonna say abuses Squee. Because that's in the long run, like the fair. You're laughing, guys, but that's.
Dude, I think you're way too modest here. Like
exactly,
you're thinking like Squee, and like I'm thinking like, dude, what? Like, how can you break this card like as much as possible?
Yeah, we're too slow. Like that's basically what it comes down to, right? I want to build a fair deck, and the only way that fair survival works is if you have some kind of Squee effect. But there's so much incidental graveyard hate, even coming off Saga, right? So
yeah.
I
might like. The activation cost of a green is also pretty big. Like, the mana is a bottleneck. Like finding multiple greens is always tough. I don't know. I think it's quite slow and a bit clunky as well.
I guess an upside is you can find endurance like pretty early on against like graveyard decks.
And the mirror.
I mean but that's actually good gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm making the case for the unban.
Oh shit! Oh yeah.
Julian, stop hating on survival. Jesus Christ. Cool.
And honestly, you'd be surprised. I think there's no card that would bring back more people into playing Legacy than unbanning Survival, because the nostalgia for Survival. I think there's no card in Legacy that's Senses Divining Top is up there, but there's basically like there's
a lot of
people who enjoyed
those
Survival.
players are still playing as well. The top players.
Yeah.
I think we would literally bring back Matt Pavlik, and he would play Legacy again like on a regular
I mean,
basis.
I thought you were gonna like
And
mention
he would
Siege Rhino.
like exactly chain Siege Riders and stuff like yo, Julian, trust me.
But like, so do you think that a lot of people quit Legacy because of the ban of Survival back in the day? Or?
I think it contributed. I don't think people really like quit Legacy on the spot because a card gets banned unless they were like heavily invested in it and couldn't get other stuff. But I think it was one of the cards that caused the most casualties. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think we'll probably agree it'd be cool to see Unbanned.
If you want to draw a parallel, that's like when Brainstorm got restricted in Vintage.
I mean, I played Fauna Shaman and Quirin Ranger in my first Legacy deck.
Yeah, that's like when
Nice.
And
that's like when your parents take away.
I
I was gonna say that's like when your parents take away like your video game and you try to play one of those like crappy
DIY versions, yeah, dude.
like mobile games and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's the same. Trust me. Okay.
Survival at home.
Convince myself.
Survival at home, dude. I played Intuition for 3 Vengevines right after
yes.
that. Yeah, dude.
Remember
well,
when
like two Vengevines and one Wonder. That was also spice.
But do you remember was it with the guys cradling Cloud of Fairies as well?
Oh, I was a poor kid. I was like 18 years old.
Okay.
I couldn't afford anything. Yeah.
You didn't have the €12 for a guy's cradle, sure?
No,
Okay.
sorry, dude. Only the $5 for Intuition.
Yeah. Oh, cards used to be cheap. Cool.
It's not anymore.
I think Survival is my number one card I'd like to see unbanned on the ban list.
I'm down.
For both, like, it's stronger than some of the other cards, but like
We
both
should start like some
gameplay.
kind of fashion line, like Unban Survival, and we would sell so many shirts.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
Kai,
Cool.
can you draw something? Awesome.
Sure.
All right, next ones. We don't have that many. We've got a few more to talk about. There's a bunch more cards here, but like they're all quick fires. So Time Vault, obviously not. Time Walk, obviously not. Time Twister, we already covered. Think it kind of sucks.
Dude, can you? But sorry to interrupt you. Can you imagine how miserable Time Walk would be in Murktide format? Murktide Time Walk kill you, GG.
Mystic Sanctuary.
That's the vintage deck, yeah.
No, thank you. Tinker, no. Tolarian
Way too
Academy.
Way too strong, dude.
Academy is
Way too
so broken.
Yeah, for example, especially since you get to play 4 copies, right?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
it's busted in half, yeah.
yeah. Treasure Cruise, broken.
No.
Breach, guys, please.
Wait, dude, that's a 2-mana Yawgmoth's Will, dude. What to
I
talk
really
about?
enjoyed Breach, but no, I think Breach is the best legacy deck we've ever seen legal in the format.
You might actually be right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Cool. So no, Vampiric Tutor. This is interesting.
It's certainly better than Imperial Tutor.
I mean,
Imperial Seer.
same as Mystical Tutor for me. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think I feel the same.
It's too easy to abuse
It's
things,
miserable.
I think.
It's also miserable. Like your opponent goes end of turn. You a lot of decks don't get to do anything.
Right.
Yeah. Honestly, Vampiric. The only downside is that it's black, which is like not very much played in like value decks. So I guess we'd only see it in combo decks, but that's good enough.
It would just make the combo decks too consistent, like Reanimator and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Probably.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Wheel of Fortune we touched on already. I think it's a bit too good. Windfall we also touched on. Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Ren and 6. No, thank you.
Just no, thank you.
Cool. Julian.
I was wondering.
Like Julian wants to say something.
Yeah. Like Ren and 6 is one of those cards where it's like it's really good, but it's also like legacy, like it's top tier legacy good, but it's still a league below the super broken stuff. And I think what pushes into like being banned is it's just like miserable, right?
If you couldn't play it in a deck with islands, it'd be fine.
You know, they really need to invent some kind of mechanic to like.
Yeah,
push it. Yeah.
But yeah, I think
I guess it's called colors, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, so no. Yawgmoth Bargain. I think this card absolutely sucks and is even worse than Earthcraft.
It is harder to get this on the field than Grizzlebrand.
Yeah, much.
That's actually true. Like 6 mana. Phew.
Like the easiest way to cheat an enchantment on the field is what, like Academy Rector?
Show and tell.
Show and tell, I
yeah.
suppose, but you can't reanimate an enchantment.
Yeah, but you also don't get
not with that attitude.
You also like don't get your draw step or a 7/7 flying lifelink. Yeah, this card absolutely terrible.
This card sucks. Yeah.
Yep.
We also have like Peer into the Abyss now, which is like more mana, but it also like draws way more cards for less
So many more
life.
cards. Yeah.
And you can Burning Wish for it. Like you can't. Is there an enchantment wish?
Yeah, Golden Wish. It
Yeah,
costs
5
mana.
mana. It also gets like artifacts if you want to.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's literally the worst wish of them all,
Yeah. Cool.
as you would expect out of Void.
Bargain. Yeah, sucks. Maybe there's a card called Bargain that's even better. That's like,
Dude, the card Bargain is literally my favorite meme card in the history
yeah,
of Magic.
it's your opponent draws a card, you gain 7 life.
And it's 3 mana. It's fucking
3 mana.
3 mana
that's
sorcery.
the best. Yeah, that's like the best white cantrip.
I wanted to buy like a bunch of them and just like hand them out at cheapies or something.
Yeah, Bargain is safe. Talking of safe, not Yawgmoth's Will, right?
Oh, I think you can unban that actually in Legacy.
Fun fact though. I think
Wait, guys, you didn't take it
he's
seriously.
joking.
Sorry.
No,
no. I think the Storm people are playing this Pair or Dice Lost, which is kind of close to Yawgmoth's Will. Like every time I've seen it, no matter what they roll, it's kind of like Yawgmoth's Will. And if obviously it's fine for 5 mana instant.
Yeah.
Past Flames is also pretty powerful. What Yawgmoth's Will adds is you can re-buy LEDs.
yeah.
Uh,
So if Paradise is like 3 green, then
Yeah.
2 black is just totally broken.
Oh yeah, it is absolutely broken.
Yeah.
However, like this card, you never want to see a Yawgmoth's Will in your opening hand, though. It's one of those cards.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of sucks, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I think much too good.
I've mentioned this, right? My favorite part about Checkworth World.
No.
It's you kill your opponent can kill you with Helm of Obedience.
Oh yeah, because it's just like it all gets exiled.
Yeah, everything gets put. It's basically a temporary Leyland of the Void.
Cool. All right, so if Will's ever unbanned, you know what to play, everyone.
Yeah, everybody's
Helps.
just like.
It's like 4 helms in the sideboard.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. Cool. I love this card. There's such sick artwork and such an iconic picture. I wish it was like different so we could play that, but such a cool card. But
It's one of those cards that actually there are a few cards that scare me almost because I had it down as one of those cards that the good players play, and even to this day I'm somewhat like I've barely ever resolved Yawgmoth's Will in like any format. I mean, yeah, I guess that's
people
part of-
don't really resolve it very often. They just cast it and then the game ends.
Yeah.
But I think it's like just the whole aesthetic. The whole I've just pulled it up for myself. The card is just one of the coolest looking cards in the game.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
I think for me it's exactly where it is. Like it perfectly fits and should be just reserve list vintage, and that's it. And it's just such a cool card.
Yeah, it's one of the few cards left that when I see it, it actually still fills me with awe. Like when you still were a child and you saw like the big worms and stuff.
Totally feel
And
that. Yeah.
That's really one of the few cards that still does that for me.
You just like it's this bang smack of like nostalgia plus or of just like you just know this thing is so powerful, and it is. Cool. Final card, guys. Zerda. Yeah. So I think
Callum, actually, you tell us about it.
Yeah, because like I mean, you played quite a bit of Zerda,
I played a
didn't you?
ton of it. So I loved it. Really fun deck to play. I think the 3 mana extra, like you could totally get around it. It's really broken because it's not in your hand, so you can like discard use LEDs to have the mana. Like, it really abuses that. And then if anyone's not aware of how it combos, if you have a Basalt Monolith or a Grim Monolith, you can tap them for mana, and then their untap ability costs 2 less, so you can untap it and stuff. I have a feeling it's a bit too good still, even with the 3 mana tax on top. I think if you said the companion thing doesn't work, then you wouldn't play it at all. It's not good. But I think it's still a bit too strong. The shell was really strong in the fact that you could just like slam Khans and stuff. It would make some interesting deck building decisions because you can't play it with Urza Saga and stuff. But yeah, as much as I love the card and I would like to see it unbanned, I could be wrong. But my guys, it's too strong. It's just I felt like you could just combo so well with it. Like you're playing Ancient Tombs and the Grim Monoliths and stuff, and then you can play Defense Grizz and things. Yeah.
See, like I think like when Zeta was legal, I didn't really face a lot of Zeta decks in leagues and challenges because everyone was so focused on Lurus instead, including myself, obviously. So I can't really comment all that much on Zeta herself. I see a lot of potential, a lot of like breaking potential.
I think that's everyone's experience because everyone was playing the like Lurus decks and stuff. So do you remember their reasoning in the ban announcement?
Okay, it might potentially just blow up Legacy.
They said that the win rate is too high, but not enough people playing it. But we're taking preventative action to just ban it now.
Oh, interesting.
So I never would have even thought they'd do that, but they just said the win rate is way too stupid.
You know what? Like now, if I compare like Lurus of Zeta, so there's you gotta pay 3 mana for to unlock the companion, but Zeta decks are just already built to build. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it really isn't a huge cost. Whereas like Lurus decks, you gotta pay honest mana to unlock Lurus. So I think like Zeta is like
Zeta killed turn 1 quite a lot. Against, if you know you're not playing against Force of Will deck, like if they don't reveal Lurus back then, you'd just be right. I'm just gonna think you're not a Force of Will deck, and you'd Goldfish, and you can kill turn 1 quite easily. Just like Soul Land, Grim Monolith, LED was a win.
Oh yeah, interesting. Yeah.
But you have to discard your hand, but then you'd find something usually. But yeah, so the 3 mana on top, it does slow down the deck considerably. But as you said, it's just built to pay 3 mana regardless. So you know it would win turn 2 and turn 3 decently enough. So.
Okay, yeah, let's keep it bad. Honestly.
So what's the conclusion, Sensei?
Dude, are you curious?
I'm curious. I would like to see him when the future leagues, whatever. But I think it's too good.
You know what? I think that's totally fine. Like Callum can keep Zerda. I'm gonna keep Demonic Consultation. You know, like everyone's gonna keep like their one favorite card.
Julian can have Earthcraft.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, my glass is half full.
But I think like the overall. Well, do we want to like draw like a conclusion?
Yeah.
After this, because I want to say that first of all, as we already mentioned, like Mids of the Coast is not proactively gonna unban cards for no reason, right?
Actually, yeah, keep going, Kai.
Because I think they're just like they're more interested in pushing new products, new cards instead of like I don't know, like reanimating like old gems, and for the most cards, like the longer I thought about them, like the more I think that they really don't add a lot of good value to the meta game. And
I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So actually, let's approach it from this way. What actually gives Wizards of the Coast motivation to unban cards? Because when we look back, like what have we seen unban in Legacy? Like Replenish, Entomb,
land tax.
Grim Monolith, land tax, Blackwise. Okay, now we're getting to like the really bad ones, but like from the earlier days from Legacy, yeah, but that's also like the really what were the first unbans in like Legacy? I'm actually trying to remember. I remember Replenish, Grim Monolith, and Entomb. Like what gave them the? I think Mind Over Matter was banned at some point, like as well.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
So
it's so funny to think.
Like, what gives them the motivation to unban? Like, the motivation for banning stuff is like quite easy to understand. But what gives them how does the process inside Wizards start? Because there was a time when we saw quite regular unbans in Legacy for a while.
Yeah, I don't actually know, honestly.
Is there like somebody inside Wizards who, because that was before the age of social media even.
I think the truth is they just don't have the reason or motivation to do it, sadly.
So, because I thought I had read somewhere, but I could be wrong, that these days unbans would only really happen by like community desire or however you would phrase it. So I think if we really ever wanted something unbanned, and I think Wizards is never gonna unban cards that were legal and then banned. You know, there's always a difference of like there was stuff that was banned since the beginning of the format, and then there's the stuff that was legal, got banned, and I think that's never going to come back, except for hopefully Survival. Who knows?
They did set a kind of a precedent, which totally backfired.
Grave Troll?
Yes, exactly, for Modern. They banned Grave Troll, then unbanned it, and it completely destroyed the format, and then they had to ban it again. So I think they're a bit worried about that again, which I get. But not that, like, many of these cards that we've talked about today would do that, but I think they just saw like, look, we don't really gain much as a company to unban these things, so.
Yeah, on the other hand, like if something breaks in Legacy or Vintage, that's not really like gonna hurt the bottom line at all, right?
Yeah, imagine like these unbanned survival though. I know that we said we wouldn't talk about the price, so going through the power level, we didn't think about price, but sadly, I think it will never be unbanned unless they completely like abandon Legacy and announce it, saying we're not going to support it anymore. There's never going to be a sanctioned Legacy event again. Then imagine they unban it and like everyone spends crazy amounts of money on it. It's not safe, and they have to ban it again.
Imagine if they bring out like I don't know, Magic 35, and then they like unban the most expensive cards in Legacy, and they're gonna be like, oh, and guess what? If you spend like $10,000 and the right to your firstborn, you can get a chance at getting this or Mind Twist.
Right. And they might also sell like proxies for $1,000 for a Mind Twist or something.
Dude, Kai already got hired. Pre-contract signed. Perfect. Transferring to a Renton. Oh, whatever.
But you guys, I think it's good to have also formats like what's it called, middle school or old school or
preschool,
pre-modern, or like what preschool, whatever they're called,
after school club.
Because like you can play with survival if you want to. There are a few formats, and I'm actually kind of happy that you don't have access to everything in Legacy. Like Legacy is also like not the oldest format. Yeah,
kitchen table is the oldest format, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Is there a competitive kitchen table? I guess it's called EDH. Actually, it's called CEDH, right? Anyway, that's not kitchen table, to be honest.
So, should we go into the commander ban list?
No, I thought we were going to talk about our favorite conspiracy cards.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't there a conspiracy card that copies every spell you cast or something?
Yeah.
There's a conspiracy card that makes all your creatures cost 1 less, which I think is super broken. Like I used to drop, because a good friend of mine like had this in his cube, and I used to first pick this every single time and just cast True Nemesis for 2 mana and Bobs for 1 mana.
Honestly, I think that there actually is one that copies the first spell you cast every turn. I think that's more broken.
Probably. Lava Spike you.
Yeah, you're laughing, but I think the best deck that somebody actually put together in like this hypothetical format was some Fire Blast thingy.
It was because we were thinking that you would be able to start with 4, so you would start with 4 of them as your thing. So a Fire Blast would deal 16 damage.
And then Kai comes along and casts Tarmogoyf on the first turn.
Yeah, so your creatures can cost 4 less.
As an 0-1.
No, but with that one, your creatures would cost 4 less.
Oh, true. So what can you cast?
Tarmogoyf.
Still the best.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Guys, do we call it a day here?
I think so. I think this is really fun.
It was really fun to talk about it. But again, I think a lot has changed in Legacy over the past like years and even months, and I'm pretty sure that Legacy will also change quite a bit in 2023. So I gotta say, like, I'm kind of looking forward to like new sets. As much as cards tend to break the format here and there for a bit, but Legacy was also quite broken in the past.
Oh, was it?
Crazy,
dude.
So I guess like it's like a never-ending journey,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we keep going, we keep driving, we keep riding the Legacy. I mean, that's why it's called Legacy, right? Okay, this is quite corny.
I don't co-sign this.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to all the Patreons out here. We are ending this segment of Julian is on the road and keeps casting from different places. Next time, going to be back in February with... We'll figure it out. I think there's going to be bans in February after we just did this Unban episode. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Everybody, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for hanging out in the Discord. Kai, Callum, thank you for enduring this random guy lying on the bed speaking to a microphone. This feels... I don't know, man. I can understand how people make money just lying down in like pools on Twitch. Anyway.
Okay. Tune into Julian's hot tub streams.
Oh yeah, that's what it's called, hot tub. Exactly. Okay, and everybody have a good time and see you again next time. See you. Bye.
Bye. Laser everyone. Unban top.